question as I travel around the country and in various venues and even on the web, the World Wide Web, which is we get information that people ask, who is or was Frank Silvera? Frank Silvera, it was originally from Kingston, Jamaica, born in 1914, and passed an untimely accidental death in Los Angeles in his home, and while working on a kitchen accident. We lost him, and it just devastated the theater and the arts community because he was our leader. He typified and he personified the excellence in the arts and in theater. He had come to Los Angeles to work in films like Viva Zapata, starring Marlon Brando, and he brought the first James Baldwin play, which is now classic, 8-Man Corner. Originally brought it from Los Angeles, his company, Frank Silvera Theater Being. He brought that to Broadway in 1964. And we said, we need to do something to develop new playwrights, and because there were almost no venues for writers of color to go and to get his or her work read aloud, critiqued, and to put it out there and get some movement. And so it took us a while. I was stage managing River Niger by Joseph Walker on Broadway at that time. And so by 1973, we decided that we would do something. And we booked the theater, which is no longer there now. It's where all those Arthur Miller plays and where Off-Broadway was born in that area down around 34th and Broadway. It was called the Martinique Theater. It's no longer there now. It's gone. You know what I say. If it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage.
Greetings and welcome to the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop new play reading series. We're super excited to kick off this season with Last Dance of the Panther Women, written by Jamal Williams. Special thanks to the Billie Holiday Theater for partnering with us to make this reading possible. Immediately following this reading, there will be a moderated critique session where you can offer direct feedback about what you've just watched to the playwright. And now, we're so pleased to present Last Dance of the Panther Women, written by Jamal Williams and directed by Michele Baldwin.
Last Dance of the Panther Woman by Jamal Williams. Late fall 1974, Oakland, California, student courtyard of Merritt College. The stage is almost bare with huge monolithic freestand flats painted in red, white, and blue like an invert abstract American flag, with stripes of oblique angles. Directly to the right of the audience is a DJ booth with black lights and lava lamp. 3 concrete benches forming a U-shaped sit center stage. Characters: Camille Thompson, a Kathleen Cleaver type played by Justine J. Hall. Tiffany Baker, Oakland-based Panther played by Kimi Sung. Male Black Panther, Oakland-based played by Yahuda Carter. Foxy Lady DJ Social Entertainer played by Staxx Cordero. Jimmy Sweet Wine, a cool hip brother man played by Leopold. Act 1, Scene 1. As a psychedelic, rainbows of yellow, green, red, and blue lights illuminate the large flats. Jimmy Sweet Wine, wearing colorful, tight belt bottoms, a psychedelic, large collar, half-button shirts, vest, and a dark blue tinted small frame sunglasses, enter doing a high-stepping pimp stroll into the theater.
Ooh, Oakland, California, here I am. Whoa, this is hallowed ground because this is where it began, and God willing, this is where it will end. Maybe when the revolution came here, Jesus Christ, who had donned an Afro wig, stood on the corner of Lenox Avenue 125th to catch the first gypsy cab out of Harlem, felt it was time to move again. Wow, man, this is tight and out of sight. Well, goddamn. I finally made it to college. Hey, damn, baby, you so fine. Pam Grier ain't got nothing on you. Mm.
I ain't never been a Panther woman either.
Oh, hey, sister in the black leather coat, looking sweet like Kathleen Cleaver, want a baby. Can you help a brother out? Can I have your number? Oh, baby, you just broke my heart. I meant that I don't have a seat, and
And what do you want me to do about it?
I want you to get up and let me have your seat, and then you can sit on my face. Laugh.
I'm waiting for someone.
Ooh, you being cold to a brother man?
Brother man. I'm not here for romance. I've traveled 2 days across country on the funky Greyhound bus. My back is aching, my feet hollering, my clothes are wrinkled and dirty, and I probably smell funkier than that lame rap you using. I'm here to be focused and to take care of some unfinished business. Now, would you please just get out of my face?
Ooh, oh, I like a feisty woman.
Pulling a large revolver out of her coat pocket.
Look, I came here to hurt somebody, and I might even start with you.
Most definitely, my sister. Don't shoot me. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Damn, brother can't get no love here at Merritt College, Oakland.
Mary enters pulling a red wagon filled with plastic records albums and starts setting up as Jimmy heads towards her.
Don't even think about it, Jimi Hendrix wannabe. If you touch one, scratch one, break one, you pay. Why don't you sit your ass down and let me finish my setup?
Damn, give me a break. What's wrong with Oakland women? Don't y'all believe in Don Cornelius' love, peace, and soul? Damn, you threaten me, Kathleen pulls a gun bigger than Dirty Harry on me. I thought this was a rally for peace and brotherhood in closing the last chapter of the revolution. Guns kill, and I'm a lover man. I just want to have a little fun. Damn, I heard through the grapevine that there was this big event over at Merritt College, and to see that, and I came over here and said that the Panthers were having a surprise guest straight out of exile. Of course, me being a politically curious man, I'm here to observe history up close, but not too close.
You smell like a pork sandwich, my brother.
I'm a vegetarian, baby. That's how you get a brother to move. Get up, get down, get up out of your seat. Well, the gym is overcrowded. That's why they set up a party out here in the courtyard for the spillover. You got James Brown. It's a man's world.
Nope, that's 1960s passe.
What? James ain't passe. He's timeless.
Maybe so. But I set the theme here. James sometimes wears a do-rag over that combed hair. And ain't nothing conducive to anybody's revolution, my brother.
That's just the man's persona.
And this is my show. It's full of propaganda and agitprop and pathos and everything else. So be it. Tonight in this college courtyard, I am God. And don't you forget it.
Well, there's a mean sister up there with a gun. And I bet you won't tell her that.
This is Merritt College, baby. This is where the Black Panther started. I've been around lots of people with guns. Why don't you go sit your ass down and enjoy the show? You blocking other folks' views.
Blocking what views? I thought this was supposed to be a dance. Isn't that what we all came for? Am I blocking anybody?
Yes, you are.
Damn, boy, you women aren't the same as when my daddy dated.
It's a different day, my brother.
Today's sis ain't nothing but a bunch of...
Better sit down before you say something. You damn sure better not. I won't call you out your name, so show me the same respect, my brother.
Yeah, well, show me some. My name is Jimmy Sweet Wine. What's yours?
What?
Your name.
Oh, it used to be Barbara Richards, but now I've changed it to Foxy Lady DJ.
Or you can just change your name like that.
Why not? Look, I've got work to do, and this is going to be a long evening. So why don't you go sit over there in a dusty corner and rub your natural up against the wall or something?
Well,
Grabs her hand.
I am just a brother trying to show a sister a little love.
Don't bruise the tissue, baby. Do I need to call security, or better yet, should I wait for the Panthers to come and physically remove you?
Ooh, hard on the brother. Guess the revolution didn't change nothing. Sisters still beat a brother head as they always been, huh? Ain't nothing changed.
Is that for men or for pigs?
Scene 2. Foxy in a silhouette sits in a dim light.
Hello, Merritt College. Hello, Oakland. Hello, Bay Area. Hello, world. Welcome to the last real celebration of 1974. I'm piping in jams of the Black music world over Merrick's student-operated radio station, KSOL, KSOL. 5,000 watts of Black power coming at you, baby. Yeah.
Black male and local base Black Panther woman Tiffany enter. Both are wearing beret boots and black leather jackets. He clutches a newspaper under his arm as he marches in place.
Hey, does anybody know who we are?
Huey Newton?
Oh, you think this is a joke?
Shut up, brother. Again, does anybody know who we are?
Bobby Seals. I'm sorry, sister. This just ain't my day.
Moving in synchronized choreographed steps, marching with uprise fits.
I said, does anybody know who we are?
The Black Panthers is who we are.
And what do we want?
Power to the people.
What did you say?
Power to the people.
I didn't hear you.
Power to the people. I said power to the people.
I heard that. And what will we do to get it?
We will die for the people.
Right on.
Whoa. Damn, that was good. That was good. Where do I sign up?
Tiffany reaches in her coat. Jimmy ducks as she pulls out a file and compact mirror to preen herself.
And those were two members of our illustrious Oakland branch Black Panthers. Don't you feel that tingle of excitement, of positive Black energy crackling in the air? What a wonderful day to end a kick-butt year. We've lost both Martin and Malcolm, but Brother Eldridge and Kathleen are back to fight the fascists of the world. There must be a way out of here, said the Joker to the thief. There's too much confusion. I can't get no relief.
Moving next to her with newspaper.
These papers are heavy as hell, and I've been studying the 10 points real hard. What if I just recited?
Nah, no haps, no how, no way. You can count, can't you? My brother, can't you?
Oh, lucky us. I see we do have the final Black Panther newspaper for sale right here by these two authentic Panthers. Yes, this ever-present, slightly propagandist slant has made its presence my dance, but Miss Foxy don't mind. That's okay, because it's their night tonight. Politics and fun can coexist, and that's why we're going to party down as we wait for Brother Eldridge and his wife Kathleen to arrive.
I'm a fine, good-looking, viral, revolutionary Black warrior. And a revolutionary's lifespan ain't promised beyond the next battle. A brother got needs. Know what I mean? Please get this monkey off my back.
Then try a little harder to use that virile revolutionary mind of yours, my brother. And since when was it my duty to be turned into a hoe? This stuff is getting on my last nerves. I didn't join for this.
Damn, man. Sisters are hard on a brother, man.
What I've been saying all night.
It's hard to memorize 10 points. How about if I recite 7?
Oh, man. You know the game. It's 10 or nothing at all. Just do your job.
You playing me, Tiff? But you better be ready tonight. We want freedom, We want power to determine the destiny of our Black and oppressed communities. Yeah, I'm getting it. Now, what's the rest? Oh, yeah. We believe the Black and oppressed people will not be free until we are able to determine our destinies in our own communities ourselves. By fully controlling all the institutions which exist in our communities. Damn, man, I did one. I did one without messing up all of it.
Wow. Well, give the brother a big hand. I see what a little incentive can do. Get your Black Panther paper and obtain the word. 50 cents. Sister, how much is the word worth? I know the Panthers been getting a hard rap nowadays, and everybody is paranoid about being put in an FBI subversive file in Washington somewhere.
Be Black, be aware, be militant, and most of all, smile and say cheese.
Oh, Martin wasn't a womanizing subversive. Malcolm wasn't a hate-mongering racist. And any sister without chemicals in her hair, or any Black man with nappy hair and a nappy face wasn't dangerous.
But the Panthers do call for violent overthrow of this racist country.
Yeah, right on. Power to the people. Just let me know when all the shooting's done.
What about you, my brother? Don't you believe in equality? Don't you want full, meaningful employment, decent housing, healthcare, and an end to police brutality?
Yeah, I mean, I want a nice pad, access to penicillin, police restraint, but I don't know about a steady full-time job.
You ought to grab a couple of papers from your soulmate over there. I guess
I'm
the
bringing up
Constitution ain't important, but what do I know? I'm not one to keep up on current affairs. Get your Black Panther paper. Hey, students, workers, the proletariat. It is all here in Black offset type. Find out more about the vicious Oakland pigs. Get your Black Panther paper.
What's going on between those two over there?
Don't get too close. You still smell like bacon and pork chops.
You think I'm a plant. I'm just a curious brother man.
Huh. Really? Then you ought to be aware that that brother wants some punani.
Ah, you mean sex? Well, he's a Panther man, and most of the Panthers are women 65-35, so I don't understand.
Damn, man, with the new rules, a brother can't get any woman Panther he wants if he can recite the 10 points.
Camille, wearing typical Black Panther gear, wears the picture of Che Guevara on her beret as she steps.
Who are we? The Black Panthers. And what do we want? Power to the people. But in the damn meantime, get your Black Panther paper. Only 50 cents for the truth. Get your damn Black Panther paper if you want to remain misinformed and forever docile.
Sister, are you out of your damn mind? Do you know where you are? Do you know who I am?
Let me get out of y'all's way.
You're a Black Panther, right? So am I. I'm from the New Haven branch.
Aren't you guys defunct? Look, don't be disrespectful, sister.
She opens up her jacket to expose gun tucked in her waist. Then Camille flashes her gun, snitch in her waistband.
Totally unintended, my sister. The truth is, and these 10 points, you remember those, don't you? It is the right of the people to defend themselves against their aggressors, yada, yada, yada. And that damn sure means by any damn means necessary.
Come on, folks. Peaceful fun is what this sad occasion calls for. When Black folks get together, it ain't to kill one another. A great moment in history is passing us by, hereby where it all began so many years ago. Huey is in exile, but we celebrating Kathleen and Leroy Eldridge Cleaver's return from Algeria with his infamous cod pants. Kick back and enjoy Foxy's vinyl tracks out here in the courtyard. We're going to have more soul out here than in the crowded auditorium. So what we don't want to do is give off any provocation to the Oakland pigs. You know they drooling to invade the school in full riot gear to knot up some nappy heads. Now let me slip on some Jimi Hendrix and, you know, and the wine cries Mary on the turnstile. I got you, baby.
Camille returns to her seats.
Tiffany, what do you mean to that light-skinned chick?
I think she's a Panther woman, but not from here. What we need to do is keep watching her. If she's a provocateur or undercover, or we'll find out soon enough.
Looks good, though.
Is sex the only thing on your mind? I mean, we stand for something here. But tomorrow, what are we going to do when we no longer exist as a party? Just watch her.
I sure will. Yeah.
Black man, black man.
Mm.
Wouldn't that be something if Elaine Brown showed up? Sister running the show while her boyfriend Huey is hiding overseas.
Light-skinned sister got a serious attitude and a big gun.
Yeah, well, I got one too.
Huh? If the pig hadn't made it policy to strip search all males, I'd have one too. I'm busy concentrating on learning these 10 points.
True dedication, huh?
You know it. 'Cause I've been dreaming about you and me getting it on for a long time.
20 pigs with shotguns, tear gas, snarlings, slobbering police dogs, and murderous intentions could be on this campus tonight. And you wouldn't see or hear a damn thing coming because you so intent on learning your 10 points so that you can harass the draws off of me. You're dumber than a rock. Back to your study, fool.
Fool? I'm a fool? I shouldn't even have to go through this game. I know you want me. I sense it.
You sure are sweet on yourself, ain't you?
You got the balls, man. Just because they got you acting like a mule, lugging those heavy papers, she got the gun. Ain't this a blip? Little sister making a mad brother work hard just to get a little piece of tail? Makes a brother want to shoot somebody.
Who are you, man?
Oh, just a brother checking things out. Warriors don't sell papers.
You sound like a provocateur and smell like ham hocks.
These pork references aren't very fair, Camille. You could get me hurt if you said it too loud in a room full of black folks.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's an old habit I learned at my New Haven branch.
I bet Eldridge didn't have to have women putting conditions on their stuff. Selling papers, standing guard, marching. Is that all there is to being a revolutionary?
Ain't no Eldridge Cleaver.
Any man could be like Eldridge. Read Soul on Ice. He just took what he wanted.
Really? They told me uniforms worked magic. But this little mama got me jumping hoops, studying a damn piece of paper just to get what is a warrior's right. I should be out here with a gun getting my war wounds. Ain't I ready to die for the people? Ain't I ready to offer pig? This is 1974, and the last time I remember free love is still being practiced over across the bay in San Francisco. Hell, Eldridge took his when he wanted. Who made up this stupid rule? I bet that Elaine Brown bitch got something to do with this. Women. Who put them in charge anyway?
My lovely brown people, why have your asses at Merritt College on a beautiful Saturday evening when there's so many other cool places to be in the Bay Area? Partly because you like what Foxy Lady DJ is putting down. Yes, baby, yes.
Mel crosses to Tiffany bench. Tiffany crosses over.
Evening, my sister. How's it going?
It's going.
Can I take a sip?
Suit yourself. It's your territory. What you reading? The book sticking out of your coat.
What? Oh, it's just a book on modern fashion design concepts.
Revolutionary literature has certainly evolved here in Oakland. Thinking about life after the revolution.
You are from here, huh?
I'm just like what I am, a panther woman, a pantherice, los panteras, un pantera. I'm that and some.
Well, excuse the hell out of me. I don't know all that Spanish and stuff, but I do know everybody in the Bay Area Panthers, and I don't know you.
That's my fault.
What?
You the big boss lady.
You can't come into my hood talking trash. I'm starting to think about getting real inhospitable to you, my sister. But you got guts, and that's cool.
Glad you approve.
Watch out, but the evening is still young.
She crosses back.
Hey, my man, what you concentrating so hard on?
My duty, my obligation, my mantra as a Black Panther, the thing that validates me.
Yeah, wow, cool. And all that in that little bitty book.
Man, what's your problem?
Whoa, I'm down with all the Panthers.
With all the testosterone gracing us tonight, it makes Foxy want to ask, Mr. Cleaver, what's up with them card pants?
So why are you trying so hard to learn the 10 points tonight? I mean, there's always tomorrow. Hey, man, you know that yellow sister over there got a big gun? Come to think of it, your partner has one too. I thought about joining the Panthers so that I can carry a gun.
A gun ain't the full measure of a man.
You say so. Well, I knew things would change with a woman in charge.
We all know the CIA made Eldridge do it with those card pants. Stuff all sticking out from his crotch for the world to see.
I seen it on the headlines. Brother was hanging.
Yeah, I saw it too. Worldwide trash. Trying to make a Black man a slobbering fool. Wasn't no pride in that shit. The price Eldridge paid to return to America with no charges.
Hey, Camille, did you come to see Eldridge or Elaine?
Neither. I have business with Kathleen.
Why? Because she's pretty and smart?
True. But she represents everything positive about the movement.
Really? Oh, she was the first female in the party's central committee and served as the party's spokesperson and press secretary. And you say that ain't nobody?
Tiffany gets closer.
She was the one who nurtured and protected Eldridge, allowed him to do his thing that helped him run into exile, bringing the whole movement with him.
So you blaming him for the demise of this chapter?
All chapters. But he couldn't have done it without that nurturing and enabling and protection of his woman.
Welcome to Oakland.
I've been to Oakland before.
Huh? Then what brought you back?
That's my business.
Protecting Kathleen is just part of his job.
True. And that's why I have to shoot her and not him.
What? You came all the way from New Haven to assassinate Kathleen?
Oh, she's not kidding.
What's wrong with you? And you said that without hesitation. Shoot Kathleen. Yo, you know I can't let you do that.
You got a gun, I got a gun.
Yeah, well.
You're going to have a shootout?
This is hollow ground, my sister, where the Panthers started. So check yourself. Lots of folks out here on the quad. But if I have to pull my gun, I'll pull it.
That's fair. But we'll have to see once the Cleavers arrive.
Tiffany crosses to her seat next to a surprised Mel, who is sitting studying the pamphlet. She pulls out her book and stares at Camille down before reading it.
Are you serious? I mean, this sure is new to me. You trying to restart the revolution by yourself? Let's talk.
Get away from me. Still smell like pig to me.
Okay, my people. Miss Foxy is going to stack a few records on a turnstile before she makes a pause for the calls to the ladies' room. Hopefully, our distinguished guest won't appear while I'm preoccupied. You ain't seen nothing.
Putting the pamphlet down.
Almost got it.
Kathleen look-alike Panther girl got me tripping from New Haven. Ranch is defunct. Coming for Kathleen. People come to see Huey, Bobby, or Elaine, but don't nobody come to Oakland to see Kathleen. This the girl perpetrating. Might be FBI, CIA, or even OPD, Oakland Police Department. Hell, she could be the second coming for all I know. In these times, it could be deadly to be a Black, female, and militant. So we got to be vigilant.
Jimmy Sweet Wine walks over to the mail.
Hey, man, you ain't gonna let that chick treat you like that. No self-respecting brother would.
Man, stop trying to instigate. Why you all up in my business?
You a man, right? If you want them draws, just snatch a handful of hair and bend her over the bench.
Tiffany would shoot my ass. Learning the 10 points protects me. You got nothing in common with me. I'm not going to tell you again. Get out my face.
Cool. Well, you better sell some more Black Panther papers while your partner over there preens herself. That's what I get for coming down here to support. Power to the people.
Dancing center stage.
Pays the cost to be the boss. I paid the cost to be the boss. Look at me. Know what you see? You see a bad mother.
Retreat back to Camille.
Enjoying yourself. Did you try to talk the young man into doing something stupid?
Now, why would you say that?
I've been a Panther for 5 years, I know. Isn't that what you're trained to do?
Give me a break, Camille, and I don't even eat pork.
Tell me, does this situation, does it turn you on?
You got me wrong, sister. I'm just another brother checking things out. I'm not on any mission.
I bet. You probably think all these blacks are shoveling shit against the wind, don't you?
When has a revolution done anything for anybody? Like some magic mushroom that gets you high for a little while and then eventually brings you crashing down to the ugliness of your pitiful life when it wears out. While the shit still stinks, I'm a lover, not a fighter.
You say so, Mr. Lover. Oink, oink.
Yeah, you tease me all you want. But women love this hip, brother man.
You've been around, haven't you? Handsome dude like you probably has women in every city, right?
Well,
Come on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for teasing you. So tell me, where have you been and how many ladies are crying about you now? Come on, good-looking guy. I know you got lots of war stories. You hold it back, Mr. Lover Man.
Well, I do make a living off my travels. So many, I can't remember them all.
You're not writing a novel. You can tell, Camille. Just between us, baby.
Well, if you stop calling me pig, just between us, right?
I'm all ears, baby.
This might work. This is sort of therapeutic. You know, I've been in this vocation for a few years and it allows me to travel and see America up close. If only you knew what was going on in these big cities. Man, oh man, small-minded, angry brothers with big-time complaints everywhere. Fight the power that be. Well, you know, sometimes you just got to learn to roll with the punches and change things gradually. Don't nobody want to hear that mess. Can't smack every grievous with a crowbar and a small baseball bat, screaming and marching in the streets don't accomplish nothing but attracts the women and the children to their lost causes. And who wants to see the women and children knocked upside the heads? A dime is all it costs to make a phone call, right?
Lights lowered to a mute red, a massive collection of collage of 1960 urban riot pictures flashes on 3 walls as Jeannie slowly stances center stage.
Well, folks, I'm back and feel so enlightened. Man, that line for the women's bathroom, jeez. Should have been a man. Ended up in one of them booths to relieve myself. And now I'm back out here in all this fresh air. Whew, I know y'all missed me. I know you did. But my old record player kept you good company. And I think the time is getting shorter. The scuttlebutt is that the majestic couple has landed and is on their way. But between you and me, Lord help us should he decide to wear his new fashion pants. Brother, please don't. Don't.
Lights dim as Jamie does his simple little dance center stage. A parade of her 5 riots pictures of police brutality, children being shot in Newark, Black men stripped naked in New Orleans in broad daylight, Watts riot images, and in nappy head Eldridge Cleaver posing in cot pants displayed.
Started my journeys in 1967 after experiencing the student strike at San Francisco State. I was studying criminal law, and that riot closed the damn school down. I lost a lot of money, and normally I was very supportive of the students, but when I lost all my cash on the school closing, I was pissed. Well, anyway, brother was broke. I went on a mission. Then I went to Detroit, then in Newark, then Baltimore, New York, and New Orleans.
And left town on the first thing smoking.
I don't feel any guilt. It was just a coincidence that all that head busting and National Guard stuff in the ghetto the day after I left was just a coincidence. Now, you know, some folks wonder about the misfortunes that seem to follow me and will it be here on the last day of the Panther's existence? Disbanding, going defunct. I guess I'm giving up my traveling days, like Martin Luther King Jr. says. I have a dream. Oh, well.
Act 2, Scene 1, The Quad.
Bill coming at you with 5,000 watts of Black power from Merritt College, the home of the brave, Black, beautiful, and talented. KSOL. Hey, so babies, Chocolate City, USA, the birthplace of the Black Panthers. We getting a little antsy, Eldridge. Can you feel it? I'm feeling some negative vibes in the quad, feeling like only Eldridge could comment. Hurry up, Eldridge and dear Sister Kathleen. It's a shame the Panthers are closing it down, but let's hope somehow the revolution lives on.
Approaching Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany, listen to this. I can already recite too. Listen. We want an end to the robbery by the capitalists of our Black communities. We believe that this racist government has robbed us, and now we are demanding the overdue debt of 40 acres and 2 mules. 40 acres and...
Stop, man. Stop. You messed up.
Nah, it was perfect.
You missed oppressed Black communities.
Damn. It's only one word. That's job, Tiffany.
Stop calling me Tiffany. Tiffany is a Caucasian slave name. It's Tiff, my brother. We didn't come here to party. We came here to protect the people, right?
Yeah, right.
And have we done that yet?
No, but
Then get out of my face. What would it look like, me and you dancing and sweating and getting down here? Stop being an ass.
Mel walks away and stumps.
Hey, Tiff, you tripping. And if you weren't my soul sister, I might be tempted to go upside your head for talking to me like that. Makes me want to shoot somebody. But I'm gonna let it slide. Because as soon as I finish reciting these 10 points, that pussy is mine. Can you dig that?
Yes, sir, master brother. We sisters just gonna give it up to our Mandingo brothers.
And who the hell are you?
I got this.
Give me the gun, and I'll do it.
Go back to your little Black Panther manifesto. I ain't sweating my drawers as long as you're dumb.
Heading towards
Go
Camille.
ahead, I got this.
Ooh, oh, you pissed her off. Here she comes.
You still reek of pork skins.
Reaching for her gun.
You strange.
Nah, she's our Panther sister from New Haven.
Doesn't your bodyguard have firearms training? I got my heat.
Didn't Alex Rackley get killed in New Haven with Erica Huggins watching, and they tried to blame it on Bobby Seals?
Looking at Jimmy.
Brother was a plant. Pig. An informant for COINTELPRO, I hear.
You betrayed a cause. You get what you deserve.
All Sister Huggins did was boil a pot of water, went to trial. Bobby caught hell after surviving that crazy Judge Hoffman in Chicago. What was brother mumbling to himself?
That fool trying to memorize and recite the Panthers' 10 points.
Isn't that part of our duty as party members? He keeps looking at you like you're going to throw him a dog biscuit or something.
Ain't no biscuit he after. But this brother is so dumb. I ain't ever gonna have to worry about giving up the coonch unless I want to. Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me that women aren't required to roll on your back and jack up her legs to her brother who can recite all 10 points? We dominate, but still a piece of barbecue.
We sure have gone backwards, my sister. It's a bad sign of the times. Blame Eldridge.
What did he do?
He's been trying to prove his manhood forever. What do you think his debt to get back home in America cost him?
Because he designed those pants with a sock that covered his zipper? His Black manhood hanging and flopping for the world to see?
Hell, Henry VIII flashed his cod pants hundreds of years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. They don't allow no forms of originality, do they?
Any self-respecting Black man would have refused to sell out to so cheaply to get his passport stamped. Simply emasculate the symbol of a Black man. They bought him. Lord, policemen will never have to fear me again. No, sir. I don't have no pistol under my car seat no more. What's that, Lord? Oh, you want to know what denomination I'll be? How about the Church of John Coltrane? No, that won't work. Well, how about if I convert to be a broad-ass Republican, Mormon, Episcopalian, Morphodite? I wear your pants with pride and humility, for I surely seen the light.
Oh, damn. You got a thing for Eldridge, don't you? Wouldn't it just be simpler to just shoot him and not his wife?
That's a serious consideration.
Our male leaders don't need Black people shooting at them too. That's all right, my sister. You told me what you want to do. Not happening with me packing.
Packing too, you know.
We're so hip, and we shall see.
Eldridge says, if you are not part of the solution, you are the problem. I used to admire the brother so. Even after I read his autobiography. And before he did to me.
Quiet as the light focused on her.
what am I supposed to do with this crazy ass information? I kind of dig the cool audaciousness of Sister Girl, but this Panther woman got something seriously missing, sort of like a chunk of cranium brain material.
Tiffany returns to the mail.
So what's she here for?
Says she's here to shoot Kathleen.
What for? Piss-colored red bone Kathleen wannabe.
Me commenting on the quality of your intelligence would just be a waste of time.
Why are you so calm, Tiff?
Because I'm not going to allow it.
You give me the gun, and I'll take care of this now.
Just keep studying your stuff. I got this. Do your real job, my brother. Don't you want me? I know I mean nothing to you as a woman, but you gotta hit it, right?
You can bet your last dollar on that. But if you know this chick is a danger to Kathleen Cleaver, why aren't you more frenzied and upset?
I got this. Ain't I the best shoot in the Oakland Panthers?
But we can't play with a crazy person. They going to show up any minute.
1974, 1974. Oh, how the revolution is becoming so hard to maintain and define. I need a moment to reflect. How can a revolution become defunct? Revolutionaries are still dying for the cause. The cause, the cause, the cause. But like Marvin Gaye says, who really cares? Who's willing to try to save the world that is destined to die?
Amy tried to scoot over to Camille, but she moved further away.
Stop, Camille. You're giving me splinters.
Will you leave me alone?
And stop
pig?
calling me that. I was honest enough to tell you about my travels. Would any undercover brother do that to a real revolutionary?
Yeah, a bragging, disillusional pig might.
You got that wrong, sister. It was just a coincidence how each of those cities I visited ended up with the cops busting and some heads just after I leaving.
And you don't see the connection. You either blind or dumb.
Just a coincidence. I'm just living a good-looking black man fantasy lifestyle, baby.
I feel sorry for you. You really don't know what you bought to the game.
What about you? You dress like a Panther woman, smell like one, and carry a gun like one. Yet you didn't come to Oakland to celebrate.
Yeah, you're right, pig.
I mean, it's so festive out here in the quad, folks dancing, drinking, smoking reefer, famous radio DJ spinning the records. The Bay Area ain't never had it so good, but you, Miss Black Panther woman, told a gun-carrying woman that you came to assassinate Kathleen Cleaver. Have you lost your freaking mind? And I'm a pig.
Just doing what I gotta do.
Starting to sound like some friggin' white feminist lesbian bitch.
What'd you say?
Nothing. I just can't believe you're the real thing, you know. And from New Haven, Connecticut, too.
That's where I'm from. Gave up law school and college for the revolution. Now that my branch is extinct doesn't mean I'm extinct too, pig. Power to the people. The revolution must go on.
Light on DJ.
The evening is getting late. What's the holdup? Don't make me start my own revolution and party. I may have to get up and give a speech my damn self. I call it the Power to Your Mama Ladies Revolutionary Party.
Hey, I'm young and black. I am a lupin proletariat, and as such, I am the last hired and the first fired. I am a warrior against the pigs. What more needs to be said? I am challenging Tiffany. Why won't she tell me more about that other Panther woman? We don't have no feminists here. Talk to me. I would report this. But since Huey skipped to Cuba and we got that chick, Elaine Brown, running the Panthers, we know whose side she's going to take.
Pacing in place.
She would hurry up so we can conclude this thing.
She's a mother, a wife, a true Panther woman who stood by her man, even went into exile with him. Why would you want to hurt her?
She's an enabler.
Oh, so was my mother, and yours as well.
What a shame. But neither one allowed our men to rape women or deceive the public.
You talking about my leader?
You know nothing about your great leader. I'm not even from here, but I know him better than you do.
Oh, you got it wrong. He wrote Soul on Ice.
A manifesto of raping white women.
That was in the past. He was reformed before he became a leader.
Before he raped me in Lake Mary.
You're not even from Oakland.
He sort of indoctrinated me as the others spewed their slogans. I respected him, admired him.
But sister, it couldn't have been. He was famous. He was a new Panther leader. He was
exerting his black power over my body.
Well, why didn't you turn him in?
Sister, every male in the Panthers was being accused and framed by the police. I couldn't add to those charges, no matter what.
I don't believe you. I mean, why target you? He married Kathleen.
I hate saying it, but I think me and Kathleen look a lot like his Soul on Ice victims.
Tiffany sits in silence. Light dims as a spotlight on a table with 2 chairs center stage. Camille crosses to the table.
Yeah. Here we are. She's got a gun, I got a gun. Growing up in Connecticut, conceived at a hippie commune with a Jimi Hendrix lookalike and a Joan Baez. What a miracle I wasn't named Moonbeam, a Pastor Doobie, or Hawaiian Bud. Mom read French melodramatic novels, and as my pop smoked monster joints, drank his rum and cokes, and talked about how God, in the form of Haile Selassie, came to him with wisdom every evening at 9 o'clock, proclaiming that the most women didn't amount to shit in the scheme of world history, and that if God had been fair and just, he would have created the perfect woman with no arms, no legs, and most importantly, no tongue. Oh. Pops would chuckle and say, well, maybe save the tone. Pops was something else. Yeah, he was. Those joints and all those rum and cokes always had Pop's nature rising. Mom was young too, so most of the time her nature was affected by the pungent scents radiating out of him. But after a while, even passion can get worn out. So when she didn't feel like panting, he would just take it and tell her that she would be glad that the tool chest had a big black hammer for her own private use. After all, he's a man, right? And when he left his knuckle marks on the pink flesh of her forehead, he wasn't worried that I was a witness to his life lessons.
I know everybody thinks I'm vain because I always am up on the fashion statements of the times. I keep my nails clean, polished. My hair's always tight and in place. Johnson & Johnson hair products. A little hot comb work, a little nap relaxer. And I was too cute for words. I was a star at the San Francisco School of Fashion and Design, a regular once-in-a-lifetime brilliant fashionista prodigy from the Oakland West Side projects. My designs were destined for the runways of Paris and Tokyo and New York, et cetera, yada, yada, yada. Everybody liked the way I hit up my Panther uniform. I was on my way with a bullet.
Hey, Nothing like being accepted into Yale's prestigious law school to make one believe that escape to another dimension was a possibility. I was exceptional because of my LSAT scores, not because of diversity, equal opportunity, affirmative action, or that mysterious thing called civil rights. Hell, before that, to me, affirmative action meant that there were finally enough Black people at Yale to count on your hands and toes. Learn to blend in with the Protestant Anglo-Saxon Yale environment. No one feared the words Black power coming out of my mouth. Had my obligatory white boyfriend. We would even sometimes let him paw and sweat all over me just to keep him in line. He was a nice guy. Got me flowers and cute love cards, and I didn't mind him leaving his blonde strands on my pillowcases and sheets or his drying sperm on my pubic hair and thighs. I liked the Stones. I liked Simon and Garfunkel and Bob Dylan. 1970 turned me completely around. That day, I could feel the electric in the air. I knew a bunch of gangster Black folks were hanging out in downtown New Haven, and somebody even set off 2 bombs. Come on, man. I just wanted to get my degree and get on with my life. They wanted to close the college down. I didn't understand why there were over 15,000 Panther sympathizers, radical hippies, anarchists, and God knows what else, communists, atheists, agitators hanging out on New Haven Green screaming, "Free Erica, free Bobby Seals, free Erica, free Bobby Seals." Who in the hell is Erica? And what the shit is a Bobby Seals? Then they started saying, "Shut it down. Shut it down." Say what? Don't you dare. I got fucking student loans up to the Ruckton to pay off. I just had too much to lose. My dorm room, my future, my damn self-esteem. Rabble rousers led by Abby Hoffman and Jerry Rubin were not gonna ruin my day.
Man, when I joined the Panthers, I said, y'all expect me to wear something that won't distinguish me from the men? So I changed a little hair, changed a little there, not taking anything from the image of the uniform gave or represented. My genius, if there is such a thing, came from being the youngest of 5 sisters, 1 mother, no money, and a whole bunch of hand-me-downs that was a little frazzled by the time it got to me. It was cheaper to snip, cut, and stencil than it was to be walking around with a bunch of outdated holy clothes, having the kids unmercifully taunt me. Hell, my altered outfit set the trends all through school. Now, I'm not one on being up on current affairs, but being a young revolutionary does not mean that I can't dance and have a good time. The revolution does take a breather sometimes. Anyway, I had Halston, De Laurentiis, Yves Saint Laurent, Saks, J. Magnins, Macy's, and all the fashion powerhouses courting me. Project Girl was exiting the ghetto. That is until that day I was walking down Fillmore Street, San Francisco.
My first epiphany threw my whole program life out of whack. Whenever I entered Memorial Library, I expected Quasimodo to come swinging from the rafters with Esmeralda under one arm, cooking sanctuary, sanctuary. Blue-eyed Hillary said it was about justice, dignity, and humanity. I thought to myself, that's deep. Curiosity brought me to the rally where I learned who the Panthers were, who Erica Huggins was, who Bobby Seals was, and who my government was, and most of all, I was. And I had been busting my butt to become a card-paying member of the American judiciary. Shut it down, they screamed, and inexplicitly I clenched my fists and shot upward. Down with the pigs, down with the pigs. I felt free. I felt purpose. I felt fellowship for the first time. But the next day, my ambiguity came back. I yearned for this new fervor and my upper middle class ambition. Sister girl was confused. But 4 days later, the Ohio State National Guards opened fire on the students at Kent State for protesting President Nixon's sending troops to Cambodia. A picture of that woman standing over the dead body, bleeding student was the turning of the screw.
It was a couple of days after Martin Luther King was shot. Police cars wailed down the streets. That was normal for where I lived. I was walking, looking at my sketchbook and not paying attention. Then I heard someone yell, "Up against the wall, niggas, and strip." Nigga? I looked up. I hadn't heard that despicable word since the start of what my sisters called the Black consciousness. And of course, since the Fillmore was a Black neighborhood, and that despised word had to be from a policeman. When I saw a row of 10 Black men, legs straddled, hands pushing off the wall, stark naked in broad daylight, their clothes piled up in the gutter, being prodded by 5 heavily armed policemen, my heart sunk in the soles of my feet. They were humiliating these young Black brothers in their Black neighborhood, on their Black street, in front of their Black people, and in front of the Black Panther office. It was a demonstration of the real power that be. They bore this humiliation and dignity. As I turned to walk away, my eyes filled with tears. I caught a glimpse of my cousin Leon, and I called out his name. "Leon!" A policeman told me, "Get the fuck home. It ain't your business." What? Oh, they had 10 of my brothers butt naked on display as a lesson, and it wasn't my business. The words just came out of my mouth without thought. "You fucking imperialist pigs. This is our neighborhood." Face reddening, he grabbed my arm and flung me against the wall. My sketchbook flew into the street. "You want to mouth off and interfere with me doing my job against these Black militant agitators? Then you join them." Tears started welling up in my eyes, and fear streaked through me. But the pig wasn't finished with me. "Strip them off, whore. You want to be like them? Then be like them. Strip it off right now." I squirmed as I felt a hand on my arm. "Step off, sister, and go home." To my astonishment, it was Brother wearing a black leather coat. "She's my sister, and I'm taking her home. So you can shoot us in the back as we walk away, but 100 set of eyes are watching you right now." And we walked away, just like that. I found that Black heroes really did exist, and I wanted to be a part of it too. The next day, I threw away my sketchbook and went down on Fillmore and joined up. And the police never dared strip a brother in the street again, because we would have gone to war. Despite me being a warrior, some folks had a problem with my fashion sense. Said it was vain, bourgeois, and had no place in the revolution. But I can out-march, out-debate, out-pack, out-shout, out-preach, out-protest, and out-shoot anybody in the party. I have proven myself many times over. I am a bona fide revolutionary, sister, to the heart. And don't you forget it. Power to the people. Power to the people. For to the people.
I had one last mission before I committed myself. I caught a bus to Oakland and walked to Lake Merritt where the Honorable Eldridge Cleaver was scheduled to do a speech to a big crowd of folks. I was so excited anticipating seeing my hero in person that I forgot I hadn't slept in 2 days. I introduced myself to a sister and she took me behind the stage in a set-up tent and a cot, and I went immediately to sleep with the comforting male voices coming from the stage. Don't know how long I was out, but I woke up with one hand clamped across my mouth. I couldn't scream, I couldn't see as he tore at my clothes with his free hand. His beard rubbed my cheeks and I struggled, and then I began to cry. When it was finally over, through cloudy eyes, I swore the brother casually walking out the tent was Eldridge. That day, the only choices I had was to call the police or just gather my torn clothes and get back to the bus to New Haven. I soon bought some black leathers and joined the New Haven Panthers. Dedicated my life to advancing the revolution by any damn means.
Hey, babies, I'm trying to keep the dance going, waiting for the magnificent ones, but this sister is getting a little impatient. I'm trying to make this successful, but you know how it is when you get a bunch of black folks crammed in a small space. I've been trying to keep it low key, but it's obvious that we got a few people who are on the verge of violence out here for a few different reasons. Come on, Eldridge, we waiting for you. I've seen some pistols flashed around, and all you revolutionaries just got to remain.
Jimmy crosses over to the young men.
What you studying?
My partner told me not to speak to you.
Damn, why everybody stays on my case? I ain't done nobody any harm.
It says you smell like pork chops. If you don't mind, I like to memorize these 10 points.
Right. So little sister got you on rations. Hanging on to them draws. Keep it from a big man like you. Feel for you.
Don't talk to me, man.
Oh, my bad. But you do realize if you don't get them draws tonight, you'll never get the chance again. So you guys are going out of business. At least you don't have to carry those heavy papers anymore. The Panthers are going out of business tonight, and I'm just here to make sure.
You know for sure? Press is always trying to shut us down. Eldridge is going to bring it back.
I think no. Now, I know that Eldridge is coming back, a different man.
How would you know? You've been to Algeria? And don't tell me that Eldridge has changed. Now go bug somebody else. I'm learning these 10 points tonight.
You can see the women are getting along. Ain't nobody pulled a gun. And of course, we all know all you got in your waistband is your dick. Yeah. Ain't something you bring to a gunfight and hope to win. I learned every reason why these women chose to fight for the revolution.
Tiff knows what she's doing with that New Haven chick.
Well, as long as I get out of the way when they start shooting.
Brother don't need this aggravation. My assignments don't put me in any position to prove myself. My partner treats me like a punk. As soon as I learn that last point, I'm going to show her that words could never be truer. Jack that ass up over that bench and make her holler. Ooh, sweet back baby. I'm going to take that rod of hers and stick it up her ass too. I knew I should have taken that job working over at the Oakland shipyard. My Uncle Ernest could have hooked me up in the Longshoremen's Union. Shit could have been making them fat paychecks and big cash from the shit we've been stealing from the shipping containers, brother could have been dressing clean, getting his due done up once a week, and driving me a long candy apple red Cadillac with gold wire spoke wheels, a white TV antenna on the roof, and a diamond in the back of the window. I'd be super flying all up and down the Oakland streets, smelling like a Brute commercial. Oh, man. But I gave all that up to be a warrior for the people. Man, one day I was bopping on down the avenue when I spied the Oakland police coming, pulling over a car full of brothers. My mind said, brother man, you got some outstanding warrants and 2 joints in your pocket. So Feet, you better head in the opposite direction. I didn't want no trouble. But suddenly, another car with a bunch of brothers, all dressed in black, came screeching past me and stopped behind the pig's car. Oh, shit. I said, what's about to come down? When the pigs roll into the hood and pull a brother over, he usually is given a few things: a ticket, a beating, or a bullet in his butt, and sometimes all of them for good measure. And since most pigs were of the big, burly Caucasian persuasion, they'd be quick to draw their guns should any black person question their stop, search, and beat procedures. And Lord help a black butt should there be more than 2 colored folks milling around, checking it out. Riot, threatening crowd, justify use of deadly force because officers' lives are threatened, emergency request, officers under duress. When one of them yelled out with a little tremble in his voice, what do you brothers have those rifles for? I had to turn around. I couldn't believe my eyes. These brothers had black berets, dark glasses, and loaded carbines in their hands. You could tell that the police wanted to reach for their handguns, but they were outnumbered. Again, one of them asks, why did they have those rifles? Because it's our constitutional right under the Second Amendment to own and carry unconcealed guns. And me and my Black Panther brothers were just on our way to go hunting for some wild boars. You know, the big burly kind, hairy, stinky, and with pink snouts. When we came to assist you, officer, we don't need help, the policeman answered. Then the strangest thing happened. Brothers said it was their duty to protect the community from unnecessary harassment, and that if there were no specific criminal charges on these black folks in the car, then the righteous thing would be for them to let them go on their way. I wanted to shout, right on, right on. The police got in their cruiser and drove away. That's what I'm talking about. These were the militant gun-carrying brothers that I heard about. These were the cats in that famous picture sitting on that Pappison chair sporting the guns with that "don't fuck with me" looks. I wanted my own piece too. I went out, cut my due, got rid of my tight shoes, changed my attitude, and joined the party. I joined for the adventure, ready to man the barricades, fight hand-to-hand combat on the streets and alleyways of my neighborhood. Things have really changed in the last few years. Panthers don't give respect anymore. Most of our leaders are in jail, exile, dead, or in denial. Other chapters are now enemies. What happened to that great revolution? Am I bitter? Frustrated? Annoyed? You damn right I am. Make a brother want to shoot somebody. They done took away my gun, got me selling papers, bagging groceries, washing dishes for the breakfast programs. I know we're serving a basic need, for the community, but washing dishes and loading lunch bags, that's a woman's job. I just have a problem memorizing. And I will get the last one tonight, for sure.
Brother, are you packing?
You talking to me?
What do you think?
Of course. He is.
You know I'd be the logical one that the pigs would search.
Some pigs wear badges on their shirts, some have them on the drawers.
That's not me. So now we're friends? That mean, Tiff, you're going to pull your gun on Kathleen too?
We got an understanding, okay? Nothing's changed.
Should you change your mind about your New Haven friend, stand close to me so I can grab the gun and take care of business.
I haven't changed my mind. It just sounds crazy that she came across country to shoot some sister who ain't done nothing to her. Don't that sound crazy?
I told you I'm doing it for the next revolution.
Next revolution? Whose revolution? You walk into the Panther Den talking about assassinating one of our founders' wives. Have you lost your mind?
Nah, my sister, I'm quite lucid.
Give me the gun, Tiff.
Lucid enough to know that you would never leave here alive. You got no chance at all with one gun.
I'm not afraid of dying.
Let me help you on your way, sister.
You're too assuming. Maybe I have some help.
Don't put me in your mess. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Not a pig's way, is it, Jimmy? Sweet wine.
You know, I don't believe you, Camille.
That's on you, Tiff.
Let me handle this.
And why don't you go over there and study?
Mel approaches Tiffany.
Let's do it now while that crazy chick is distracted. Give me the gun and I'll hold her back while you put your foot in her ass. Can't nobody come into our place and do...
Trying to brush past him, he grabs her arm. She pulls her gun out and looks at it.
Didn't I tell you to get out of my face? Did I ask you to touch me? Don't confuse me with one of your trifling hoes, baby boy.
You pulled a gun on me, Tiffany? I'm your partner. You would actually use that thing?
Empty the whole cartridge and reload it if you disrespect me again.
That's cool. You bad. I can dig it. That's all right. You're gonna get yours. Make a brother want to shoot somebody.
Hey, the time is getting late. And time don't wait for no one, and neither does Miss Foxy. Maybe we aren't important enough. Maybe they had somewhere else to go instead of being here with those that love them. I mean, what is it, baby?
Then you'll have to wait another day, Camille.
I waited 4 years for that bastard, my retribution.
Bastard? Kathleen?
I don't mince my words, Tiff. The bastard I'm referring to is her husband, Eldridge. Sister Kathleen is a saint and soon to be a martyr.
A saint? I thought you said... Sister, you're confusing me.
Don't call the police. Call a insane asylum. She crazy, Tiff.
Sits down on the bench.
It must be done tonight. The consequences are too great.
You know, I like you, Camille. Don't understand what you're doing. But at least we don't have to go man to man like Jesse James at weapons drawn. Let's just go have a drink after the dance.
Jamil gets up and crosses towards Camille.
I needed this tonight.
Be glad because you will be dead, dead, dead.
Cool it, man.
You didn't think that one gun of yours could have stopped the two of us.
The new revolution cannot begin without Kathleen and myself being dead.
You just a crazy bitch who's coming to the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time, with the wrong attitude, and fucking with the wrong people. We are Panthers. We are warriors.
Standing over her, she pulls the pistol out, raises and sticks it under his chin.
And so am I. My Black Panther warrior brother, and so am I.
Tiffany, I could use some help here, Tiffany.
Didn't I tell you I would handle this?
I haven't pulled the trigger because you are truly my brother in arms. And I realize that society has stripped you, of your true manhood.
Extracts the gun.
And you hounding her thinking that some unnatural sexual act is a true measure of your worth as a Black man.
All of us Panthers have to learn the 10 points. What better payoff than your mate?
But it's not natural to force a Panther chick to lay down with a man just because he has a good memory.
Our new great female leader made this a rule, not Huey.
Do not take my kindness for weakness. My sex is not yours by rights of the revolution. And it could get you killed. Just like Kathleen.
That's cold.
Did it to yourself.
I ought to drop a dime on a phone call. Get some real brothers here with some real guns. I can't believe you two kissing butt cheek shit.
Get over it. Nothing has changed. She still has her gun and I have mine. Better for all of us if the Cleavers don't show.
I ought to go home and get my own gun and come back and take care of all this mess.
And what will your brothers think when they hear you ran off and left me here?
Conspiracy. You working with this crazy woman to off Kathleen or something.
That sounds paranoid.
I don't like this stalemate stuff. Feel like you two planning on taking over the party.
Jimmy walks over.
Whoa, wait a minute. Young brother, you're not going to do something? I know I didn't waste my time coming here and knowing tomorrow there won't be another Panther Party in the U.S. Give me something, dude.
Now the pig is adding to the conversation.
We peeped your disguise, man. But what I too wondered, why a traitor shows up to see a revolution end.
That's part of his job.
Come to think of it, why are we here tonight? It all comes to an end tomorrow, right?
Last chance to pounce on my bones as well. Thank God.
That don't play in New Haven either.
This ain't New Haven.
Your harassment keeps putting me on the spot.
You really think that what I'm doing is just trying to get into your panties?
Maybe I don't want you in my panties.
It's your obligation, Tiff. My prize. Those are the rules.
Until midnight, baby. Tomorrow we'll be on our own.
We got to start our own revolution.
What?
How do we do that? And what does Orphan Kathleen have to do with it?
Lights on Camille and Tiffany.
Power to the people. The revolution changed me. How do we start one? Dad said one drop of his black bud was enough to blow that fantasy. At Lake Merritt, Elaine was introduced to me as Huey's old lady, his main squeeze. I said to myself, well, okay, if she didn't mind, I didn't mind. She seemed like she had her shit together. And her own little quiet conversation, she told me how the organization was still sexist and how little political power the men wanted to give up, and that the time would come for the sisters who made up 75% of the party would get their just due. We talked of Marxism, socialism, fascism, racism, capitalism, and every other ism that there was. Sister was heavy. She was deep. And then she told me the most remarkable sexist thing she'd ever witnessed. It took place before she met Huey. Bobby Seals introduced her to what she called a model Panther woman. So she says he said,
tell us what a brother has to do to get some from.
Brother gotta be righteous, gotta be ready to off the pig and die for the people, and can't, gotta recite the 10-point platform.
And can't nobody get no pussy unless he can get down with the party.
I thought my jaw would drop on the floor, but I said, if that's what they do on the West Coast, then it ain't my business.
That's why the men be acting stupid.
I was tired and remembered there was a cot behind the tent. I laid down and met my fate with Eldridge.
Lights up full.
Eldridge, we calling you, brother man, to this perfectly soulful, glorious evening, turning into a wet dream, baby. We are waiting for you, man. Of course, we saw how the papers try to make a brother look bad. Oh.
Are you all right?
Very soon, I'll make the madness. I'll make it go away.
This would never happen with one of us Panthers around you.
I didn't always carry a gun.
Good, because this guy would be head of the line.
You throw it back in my face?
Don't need nobody's sympathy.
The male pulls out the paper and starts studying.
Makes a brother want to shoot somebody. Come here. That crazy ass story about something that happened 4 damn years ago. Shit, who can remember what happened to them 4 years ago? That's ancient fucking history. Should have kept your ass in New Haven.
Pacing.
It's driving me crazy.
You already there, sister.
It's time for you two to pull your guns. Pull them.
Roughness of his beard as he painted in my ear, he kept saying, everybody knows the way that kid have developed a taste for little Creoles just like you, but I'm pissed. I'm pissed that your nipples weren't pink.
Don't no brother say nothing that dumb.
Wait, Camille, are you trying to tell me that Eldridge raped you?
What? You wrong.
The image of the party was more important. I was true and loyal. I was true and loyal member of the Black Panther Party, but no amount of soap could wash a scent off of me, ever.
But why Kathleen?
I would never give up your father to the police for anything. Anything, and I haven't.
That's because he didn't do it.
Kept the shame and humiliation locked up in here in the pit of my stomach, and his coming back allows me to be free again.
This chick is crazy. The brother got enough problems now with immigration, the FBI, probably his wife, his parole officer, and even with the party, than to have some woman screaming, rape. A black man still don't get no justice or peace. She probably wished he raped her.
You an ignorant asshole.
We want land, bread, housing, education, peace, and people's community control of modern technology. When in the course of human events,
Tiffany rises from the bench, mistakenly leaving her gun when crossing to Camille.
Well, folks, Foxy don't want to turn into what her last man claimed she was, but ain't y'all getting a little impatient too? Damn, babies. Maybe no payoff for Miss Foxy and her dance guests. Blacks have a long tradition of patience and hope, but this waiting just makes you want to holler.
But are you sure it was Eldridge Cleaver?
You don't believe me?
It's not that, my sister. This is a serious accusation against one of our icons.
Icons fuck up sometimes too.
We're all human and therefore way less than perfect. But he stopped that kind of stuff when he joined the Panthers. You must be mistaken.
Publishers love him unconditionally. Over the years, have you ever heard him repent? Like a dog that tastes red meat. Once a man batters, abuses, or disrespects a woman, he never changes because he likes the sense of power he thinks it gives him.
I don't want to believe it.
A woman never forgets something like that, especially a Panther woman. The madness returned. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't move on to forward the revolution. The madness always returns.
Standing without paper.
it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
I always wanted to be loyal to the Panthers. Wanted to believe, would fight to my last breath, but this thing has really been hard for me. The revolution is dying, the Black Panthers are dying, and so am I. I must end it tonight.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
He sees the guns on the bench, crosses and picks them up.
But why Kathleen?
Elaine Brown said, "It is a sensuous thing to know that at one's will an enemy can be struck down. For a Black woman in America to know that power is to experience being raised from the dead."
So why kill the rapist when you can kill his woman?
Cooks his food, has his children, quells his sexual lust. Brother man married both his type of victims and one woman. She didn't have to support him or go into exile with him, know what kind of imperfect counter-revolution man he was.
It's his wife.
To free him to rape me.
It just sounds crazy.
To be a martyr. I'll be shot down in the Oakland streets.
Fires a shot.
Now talk your shit, both of you. Who's got the power now?
In a man's hands is absolute corrupt power. Right.
What you think?
Hold on, brother. Can't you see our sister's in pain? Ain't there somewhere else before you
Shoot somebody? I'm not going to let her shoot Kathleen. Get out of the way, Tiff, and let me shoot this bitch.
Hey, man. Give a damn no more. Shoot me.
You'd have to go through me first.
The woman stares until he slowly lowers both guns, gives them to Tiffany. Defeated, he crosses and sits.
Damn, Tiff. Why you do that? I'm your partner. You made me look bad.
Oh, brother man, you really look good now.
Holding both guns, she turns to Camille.
You know I'm not going to give you this gun back.
It's what I came here to do. Then when it's over, you can shoot me.
Why you want to come here and just get down on the Panthers and try to make us look bad? Everybody gets down on us. Trashes our name. Jails and kills our leaders. No wonder the party is dying.
Bring the charges to the Panther Committee. Oh, that's right. We don't exist anymore.
If they did exist, you think they're going to take a woman's side over his?
You guys sure put a lot of folks out of business.
No more pig sausages, right?
The man stands.
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it.
Hey, young brother, you almost got it.
Please, Tiff.
And to institute a new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
Yeah, that's it.
I can't.
Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient cause.
You've been tolerated me.
And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are most disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable.
Please.
Then to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpation pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism.
I can't take this. I can't take this.
It is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. There. Now you have it. Now I've said it.
Both women see the paper on the bench. Camille then rises.
You done it, my brother. I'm yours if you get me a gun.
No, he didn't do it.
He did. I remember.
Get my man a gun.
I remember the man that raped me.
Crosses to the bench.
It wasn't Eldridge Cleaver.
Wasn't there?
You know, he didn't need to be. Everybody knew Eldridge liked raping light and white women. Had to be him. Give him a gun. Give her a gun.
I believe her. You weren't there.
And neither was Eldridge Cleaver.
You weren't there.
Everybody thinks I'm dumb. But I know that if you came to Oakland in 1970, Eldridge was already in exile.
Oh.
For almost 2 years. Now I guess Mr. Brother Man ain't so dumb.
Both women look at each other, knowing the truth. They struggle back to the bench and sit by side.
Oh, hell, let her shoot him anyway.
Now that that's been cleared up, who you gonna kill? Killer?
Oh my God.
Mia?
Go on and run, sister. Because you owe me.
It's all been a lie. Oh, everything about me. My revolutionary awakening, my sense of being, my sense of purpose and commitment, and my mission here. Oh, Lord.
To the core, baby. To the core.
None of us is perfect. You're still a strong Black woman. A Panther woman. Nothing can change that. We just move on to the next level.
That was my next level. Like the party, it was my death song. New Haven is dead. Oakland is dying too.
Unfortunately, it's starting to look like that.
Sister, we're in the same bag. All branches are out of business. We're like dinosaurs. Our cause has been just, but the means to fight have changed.
Sisters, there ain't nothing here. But I did recite that last point. Tiffany might not want me, but Camille is still a Panther for a few more hours and her brother got needs.
He takes her elbow and leads her
No. I'm still here. Don't do this to her.
It's all right. I played the game.
Lost.
Tiff, I deserve every and anything that this brother wants to do to me.
Oh.
I just don't, I don't care.
Oh, come on. You don't want to do this.
All I'm good for is holding these damn papers for you.
I know I played you, but my thing ain't yours on your demand.
You played me one too many times. You had no intention of giving me any.
Gently pushes Tiffany's hand away.
Get it, sister. He's a male. He's recited the 10 points. Isn't this what we Panther women do nowadays?
Go ahead, dog. You ain't no better than that monster that slithered into that tent and took from her what she didn't want to give. But if you're ever in my sight again, the next time I won't only be pulling my gun, I'll be using it.
Tiffany walks back to the bench and sits down. He looks at Camille and then at Tiffany.
Panther women. Women.
He crosses back to the bench and sits. Psychedelically, lights come up on Foxy DJ area.
Well, Chocolate City, the midnight bell has gone 12 times, and our illustrious guests are a no-show. But do not despair, because hopefully Foxy Lady DJ has kept you entertained with her music and her rap.
What are you going to do now, Camille? Where are you going to go?
I don't know, Tiff. I'm not going back to New Haven.
Hey, here. You can't just walk away from the revolution.
You're right. The revolution goes on despite people like me.
Hey, if you're willing to come all the way to Oakland and put your life on the line to do something you felt was right, then the revolution needs you.
Too tired, too shell-shocked, too ashamed.
This is too disgusting. The revolution is now extinct. Oh, well, is this what I came for?
If this were a club, I'd yell out, "Last call for alcohol."
Hey, say. And I must admit that I was getting a little tired of what's happening with my branch, too.
Ain't this a blip? Now, after you strung me along pretending that I had a chance if I learned the 10 points, let a crazy woman assassin put a gun under my chin, have me lugging a heavy load of papers, disrespecting me from yesterday till Sunday, and now you thinking about getting out of the Panthers? Are you nuts?
Well, since you put it that way.
You can't do this, Tiff.
This phase of the revolution is finished.
He's right. And I'm going to have to search for another one.
Hey, why don't you come search with me?
As we make our way on the highways and the byways of life, lest we not forget from where we've come and how some of us struggle and die to make it better for the rest. It's just that simple.
We can still be down for the people. Hey, brother man, you think you up to dealing on the upside with 2 strong Panther women on a new adventure?
Are you serious?
If you don't mind someone crazy like me being involved.
We could do this.
No.
You really mean it? But who will we join? What will we do?
Who really cares? As long as there's harassment, oppression, discrimination, there will be a need for revolutionaries. What's his name, Tiff?
It's, I don't know.
It's Anthony.
These feel-good confessions make me know that there'll be revolutions for me to observe. I just want to go home and puke in the toilet.
A young brother, man, can't help it sometimes if he lets his mind work from midsection. But when 2 fine, strong sisters put a lesson on him, he can't do nothing but straighten his act up. But this evening is something else. Don't know whether to cry, laugh, smile, or frown. I'm so damn happy. Makes a brother want to shoot somebody. Power to the people.
This is Radio KSOL. KSOL. 5,000 watts of black power coming at you from Merritt College. And Miss Foxy Lady DJ is signing off until tomorrow. Hope you people outside the dance got some enjoyment from my eclectic brand of jams. Dig me today, and I will dig you tomorrow. Right on. And power to your mind.
The lights lower. The
Thank
end.
you so much for joining us today for Last Dance of the Panther Women. written by Jamal Williams, directed by Michele Baldwin, featuring Justine Hall, Kimi Sung, Leopold, Staxx Cordero, Yahuda Carter, and Diana Brito. Before we get into our moderated critique session, we want to mention our next reading, Brooklyn Bridge and Fence by Sabora Rashid, November 26th at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And registration information can be found on the FSWW website, thefsww.org. And now we welcome people to stay and join the moderated critique session. Please feel free to raise your hand to get on the mic or put your comments and feedback in the chat. We appreciate you offering constructive feedback. The function keys can be found at the bottom of the screen in the toolbar section. And now I want to welcome playwright Jamal Williams and director Michele Baldwin, the rest of the cast, and Garland Thompson Jr., executive artistic director of FSWW, who will moderate today's session.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone,
Garland.
wherever you are. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you to this cast. Please, first of all, everyone, even in your silent rooms there, give everyone who just read for you part of this great reading today, give them a wonderful round of applause. Let them, just put something in the chat. Let them know how well they did and how much we appreciate them. Thank you very much to the cast. Thank you to Michele Baldwin, our director. And of course, thank you to Jamal Williams for writing this piece. As Kimberly said, my name is Garland Thompson Jr. I am the executive artistic director of the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop. And just wanted to speak with you briefly about a couple quick things. In October of 1973, the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop, founded by my father, Garland Lee Thompson Sr., Morgan Freeman, Clayton Riley, and Billie Allen Henderson, held their very first new play reading at the Martinique Theater down on 33rd Street and 6th Avenue, October 1973. And to this day, that legacy continues. It has consistently throughout the years, for 50 years, held readings, originally every Monday evening, which is the actor's day off. And now we've been in residence at the Billie Holiday Theater since 2016. COVID, of course, the pandemic forced us to go virtual, and we are still here today. In fact, we're really exploring and kind of diving deep into the virtual world because there are so many opportunities that are not exactly present when we're doing live in person, though, of course, we always love to do live and in-person events. But through the medium of the internet and technology and Zoom and what have you, we are able to have people participate from all across the nation, both as attendees, as audience members, and as cast members. I believe in this cast, we have people on both coasts of the United States participating today. So we're moving forward into it. And this is the first of our 2023-24 season of readings. We've got 10 readings coming up between now and June. We are doing these monthly. As Kimberly said, our next reading will be the rewrite, well, actually Act 2 now, because we only read Act 1 of Brooklyn Bridge and Fence by Sabora Rashid. So we are continuing to help this playwright develop her piece. Also wanted to take a quick moment to let you know that with this reading today, we are launching a new fundraising campaign for the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop. If you like what you heard today, we hope you'll consider donating. You'll see in the chat, you'll get a note about our challenge. It's called 50 and 50K, our 50 and 50K challenge. Our challenge to ourselves is to raise $50,000 between now and 2025. And just to give you a little context of that, in October of 1973, as I said, the very first reading was held at the Martinique Theater. That is our first 50th anniversary. In 1975 is when the workshop received its official 501c nonprofit status, along with a wonderful proclamation from the city and a number of other accolades and honors. That is our second 50th anniversary. So we decided to go ahead and roll them together. So for the next 2 years, between 2023 and 2025, every reading we do will be a part of this 50-year celebration. So to complement that, we decided to come up with this challenge to ourselves to raise $50,000 in these next 2 years by 2025. If you'd like to help, please, you're more than welcome to go to our donation. A donation button should have popped up in the chat room, and we will also be posting this on our website and, of course, letting folks know as much as we can. We appreciate any donation, no matter how small. Literally 25 cents will be absolutely considered generous, and we'll be grateful for it. So any size donation helps, and we hope that you will decide to donate to us. We hope that you like what you've heard today and what you've seen. We're going to continue doing more of it. Thank you also to our partners, the Billie Holiday Theater and Zoomcatchers. Billie Holiday Theater is our partner in crime, or in theater, shall we say, and they help us to put on these readings. So we thank them very much. And Zoomcatchers, of course, handles all the technology, handles the Zoom technology. So we are very grateful to them. And also a big thank you and shout out to Kimberly Gunn, our reading producer, for doing such a fine job as well as hosting. Now, with that all said, ladies and gentlemen, time to get into our moderated critique session. This is what we do. This is the workshop's way. We have a reading. We have a reading with professional actors, director, and then we sit and we talk about it afterwards. And the idea behind this also is for you, the audience, to let the playwright know. This is basically a listening exercise for the playwright to hear what you, the audience, have to say about what you think worked in the piece, what didn't work, what you thought could be stronger. There really is no right or wrong. It's more about stronger or weaker. So if there are points that you felt in the piece where something could be stronger, or characters that you thought could be stronger, or if you thought they were a little weaker in certain spots and that could be beefed up, we want to hear about it. You can put your comments in the chat room, and you can also put your hand up in the reactions down below at the bottom of the Zoom window. In your reactions, you can put your hand up, and Kimberly will put you on mic, and you'll be able to go on mic and talk to us directly, which is what we really prefer. We love it when you get on the mic and talk to us. So let's go ahead and open up the floor. Kimberly, do we have any comments in the chat room, and do we have any requests? Who would like to start us off?
Well, we do have plenty of comments, and I'd like to congratulate the cast and Jamal and Michele. Great job. There's plenty of great jobs, Jamal, and a lot of kudos to the cast. Let's see. Janine Robinson says, enjoyable piece. Thank you. Charles Burke says, bravo. Lisa McCree, great job, Jamal. Oh my God, Garland has a tie on. Nice. Janine Robinson, thank you all. Grew up in the Bay, memories. Sheridan Westmoreland, thank you. This was wonderful. CJ Reeves, wonderful job. Actors and director Michele. Marsha Trice, thank you for the invite. Great job, everyone. Michele Baldwin, bravo to the fabulous cast. Thanks everyone for joining. Lynn Naso, I believe. Naso, loved every minute. Lots to unpack, but she had to take off and go grab a bite. But she says, great job to everyone. Another comment, Mary Murphy, who had to hop off. She wanted to congratulate Jamal and Michele and the cast. Beautiful writing and fabulous performances. Let's see. Garland, why don't you go ahead, and I'll keep looking at the ones that are coming in, because they're filing in.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you all for these comments, and also thank you all for your support. This play, Jamal can tell us, this play has been in the works for quite a number of years now. Has been done before and worked on before, but Jamal wanted to bring it out and give it a new look at it, give it a new rewrite, and just work on it and see how it sounds and how it plays today. So any thoughts you have on that, we would love to hear. Please put your hand up in the reaction so we can know to go ahead and let you onto the stage, so you can go ahead and share your comment with us. We'd very much like to hear that. Things that we can talk about are, how well do you think that Jamal captured the milieu of the period, of the piece, of the time? Did he do well? Did he capture it well in strong ways with the dialogue, with the characterizations? And also, actors, this is also open to you. So any comments you would like to have, please go ahead and unmute yourselves and go for it. Feel free. Is there anyone out there who'd like to give us a start?
I can. Oh, go ahead, Justine.
Oh, I was going to say, I noticed that in the beginning of the show, well, in the middle, kind of in the middle, Camille and Tiff have a whole conversation about Eldridge raping her. And then towards after she has this breakdown and screams it out, Tiff goes, "You're telling me Eldridge raped you?" As if they never had that conversation before. It's just like, okay, so they having this whole conversation, the same conversation they're now having again. So I just wanted to point that out, that they had it twice.
Thank you, Justine. That's super important. Continuity is very important, because that could seem absolutely seem a little bit disjointed there. And, the whole, it's a very tough subject, of course, rape, and to be contemplating or to be discussing a charge of this kind against someone like Eldridge Cleaver, that is a very big touchy subject, very tough subject to deal with. So things like what Justine just pointed out, continuity, understanding, knowing, especially if the conversation has been seen before, has been shown, even parts of it, then it has to track that the next conversation about it, Tiffany would not be surprised to hear about it. Tiffany would know. And of course, this could also change the color of Tiffany's reaction in the first conversation about it. Right.
It just heightens the emotions of each, because if you've already had the conversation and then she's acting like she's never heard the conversation, that's kind of offensive also. So it would be a different type of conversation.
Absolutely.
I kind of took it I kind of took it as they had the conversation, but Tiffany really wasn't listening the first time. Like she was responding, but she wasn't believing it. So she wasn't really hearing that. And then finally it was like, wait a minute. Are you telling me that he raped you? Like, it could go either way. It could go the way that you're saying, but I kind of thought, because at first I was like, okay, we had this conversation, but I think it could have been that's how he but I'll let
I didn't read that on the paper, because if someone's not paying attention, then I would think there would be like in directions that she turns her head or she rolls her eyes or she goes or she doesn't, like she was responding to Camille in this, so she's responding, asking questions, so she has to listen in order to ask those questions, right? If she wasn't listening, then when you're not listening to someone, you're just like, yeah, okay. Or if you think somebody's crazy, you got or the way you say it, then it has to say, says it sarcastically or says it this way, those questions.
It's a subtle thing. I don't know. It's up to Jamal.
I'll look at it. Good point.
Jamal, that's your feeling. You're getting where Justine is getting.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah, I was this is a play that's an old play that I revisited recently. I haven't looked at this play in 15 to 20 years. So I'm sure, Justine is very alert of what she's playing. So I got to look at that. I believe it. So I'm going to look at that character and that specific moment, and I'm work on that. I didn't, it probably went over my head, but I hear what you're saying. So I'm definitely going to look at it, Justin.
Oh, that's great. It really is a great point, because it is a matter of continuity. So there has to be some kind of bridge between the two that explains the different reactions, right? So it could be very much like what Kimi was saying, how Kimi read it, that she wasn't really listening or paying much attention, and that could be a fine way to find bridge to the reaction later on.
Listening, but not giving.
That has to be clear.
Yeah, but not giving.
Right, sure, but. Exactly, but that has to be clear.
Maybe that's not how he meant it. So,
well, again, I'm positing that it could go either way. It could for me, it could work either way. Either she, you know what I'm saying. So, but there has to be something in that. If it's going to be that she wasn't paying attention, there has to be something that tells us she's not paying attention in that first conversation about it. So great, perfect. That's a great moment. That's a very powerful moment also. They're discussing an incredibly difficult subject and obviously an incredibly difficult experience that Camille has had. So that's very important to pay attention to really make that as strong as possible. So there's a great spot for you, Jamal.
Yeah, thank
Wonderful.
you. Thank you. Thanks,
Awesome.
Justine. I wanted to,
We-
but before we go on, I wanted to thank my cast. I had a fabulous cast, and I worked with some people, and some people I'm working with are new, but you guys did a fabulous job, I swear. Excellent. So I want to give you my
Indeed.
kudos.
Indeed. Bravo.
Very
Bravo.
good.
And we
I
should
believe we
say,
get.
we
Mhm.
should say and let everyone know that they really didn't have this script for very long. It was a
Yeah.
very quick turnaround. We didn't have, we had one rehearsal,
Mhm.
just one. So bravo, awesome job. And I also was going to say that I know Jamal picked this script up from 20 years ago and made the attempt to infuse some nuances, some new things. And so it could, and I didn't want to touch anything in that. I wanted, because this is a reading and it's for him to hear it out loud. Because as writers, we need to hear our words out loud. We need to hear where we might have made a mistake, or, oh my God, and 20 years ago, this was there. And now that I'm moving it to this place, it's there. It also speaks to today when we have women, you know, calling out being raped 10 or 15 years ago, and the narrative of we believe you, we don't believe you, and so Tiffany could be that she's so enamored with the Black Panther and the movement that she's like, yeah, girl, whatever, you lying, because you lying. Because we do that to people, kind of cancel women today. We're like, you know, she lying or whatever. So it's really for Jamal to, this medium here is for Jamal to hear the words that he wrote as he wrote them and have the wherewithal to say, oh, maybe I need to make that stronger, or I wasn't clear, or I forgot, or I mixed that up. So that was really, but I just wanted the audience also to know that these beautiful actors really had no time to, some of them were cast like last week. So
Yeah, because it's a lot of little nuances and
It's
all that we
it's a
could.
lot of things that they didn't have time to really, you know, but again, it's, we let it rest in the space that it's a reading.
I have a question from a research perspective, Jamal. Well, one, was this totally creative license, or was some of it based on primary source information?
Well, it's all the characters, of course, are fictitious.
Right.
But they're all based on people that I knew, because I was in San Francisco when all that was going on.
So
And I
it
was a
was
young-
a fact that they were, that the
I
women
witnessed
had
all
sex.
Huh?
It was,
What you
it
saying?
was a practice that the women were required to have sex with the brothers when they learned the 10-point.
Yeah, that didn't come until Huey Newton went into exile.
Okay.
And when the new leader of the Panthers was a woman.
Right. Right.
He's the one that brought that rule in.
He did bring it up. So that was based on
And
fact.
so, you know, yeah, that's facts. That is definitely a fact. And all the characters are, you know, Jimmy Sweetwine, everybody is a prototype of people that I knew that were going through different things at the Panther. Even Jimmy Sweetwine was, you know, undercover, and I witnessed a lot of those too. We all knew who was undercover. So all the characters are based on real people that I knew.
Great. Thank you so much for the folks that are still here. We do have some people that want to go on the mic. Byron, are you ready?
I'm ready. Thank you. My question is for Jamal, because I, like you, we're the OGs in the group. I remember these moments and actually met a few of the people that you called upon as part of your story. What I really found, Jamal, is that your monologues were absolutely very important. And they gave me more information about the characters before and I was like, because when I was listening to them have dialogue with each other in the beginning, I'm like, wow, this is so stilted. I'm not sure if they are talking at each other or talking to me as the audience, but when they did their monologues, it might be something to look at, introducing the monologues even earlier, because it gives them depth. And when they are talking to each other, it makes then I realized, wow, now I understand where they're coming from philosophically. Because it's not that maybe 20 years ago that style and the platform you were using worked, but now that, especially since we're into the 21st century, and some of these stories, by the end, when the two women were getting together, I was like, oh my goodness, they're about to go into the Me Too movement. And I was like, oh yeah, I get it. I get that, because psychologically, having gone through those periods, the Kent State killings, those impacted so heavily on the movement itself. Jackson State happened before Kent State. And it was like, wait a minute, these were the constructs that were, and the chaos that was going on in our universities, the sit-ins in Nashville, the Jackson State, the Orangeburg, all of this, and coming to Black Panther, the reality of Black Panther standing up and saying, when they came down to the Capitol in Sacramento and with the guns, they were saying to every Black person, not only to the Black Panthers and Huey, but to Stokely Carmichael, the Civil Rights Movement, the Malcolm X, all of them were listening to this new power base. And it wasn't just the gun. Remember, the Panthers were intellectuals. That whole movement of the breakfast, that started with the Panthers. And so they literally were infusing into the movement and the Afrocentric moments of that time, that we did not need white people. Not at all. We would say, okay, let's protect our community for what it is. But what I realized was, as I was listening, because I've tried to, as a director, I was trying to place them, your characters on the stages as the directions that were being read, and said, okay, this is a stage production. And where are they on this stage? Even if it's a fair stage, and then having the narrator, or rather the DJ, kind of sewing it all together, knowing that these characters were being brought into this same place, and the angry Black woman with Camille Thompson, okay, Justine, and I got all of that, but I'm like, wow, those monologues were so powerful, and I was thinking, if they were given to the audience earlier, they would have more of an audience person who has no history of this period would maybe have a better understanding of the characters when they were talking to each other. And I was like, okay, but this is why we do the reading. You had it 20 years ago. And so now, coming into the 21st century, it's still very relevant. And remember the Panther movement that met those folks at Stone Mountain and literally said those, where they came to Stone Mountain, 4 or 5 years ago, and the guys with the guns said, well, where are you white folks? I smell pussy. That's what he actually said. I smell pussy. Y'all are punks. Where are you? But I got it because I lived through that moment. So Jamal, thank you for bringing this back. We need to have this historic lesson, and starting off with the 50th anniversary of the workshop is actually the place where our history can be given relevance, because it's not a theory, it's the critical race truth that has to be told. So keep working it. Keep working. So it's more a commentary, but I wanted to just share that with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Byron.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Justine?
I just wanted to ask Byron, when you were talking about having them introduced earlier, so you're saying it could be something like the audience gets an introduction to everybody that's coming to this party, and maybe a reason why they're coming, but we don't know why until we get there.
Exactly.
So like they go, hey, they say their monologue, and like Camille says, but I'm going to this party by any means necessary, blah, 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 blah. And then we have Jimmy Sweetwine that comes out and he's like, and I want to see and blah, blah, blah. And we see him getting ready to go to the party. So we see all these characters getting ready to go to the party for whatever their reason is. But then once they get to the party, we see how everything kind of like unfolds in each of those characters' lives and meeting with the other characters and how they go against or conflict with one another.
Exactly, because now the modern person who wants to understand more about Black Panthers will recognize the movie Black Jesus, and because that now has set into our 21st century community a trying to bring back the idea of what was the Black Panther Party to us as a people, not to white people, but to Black folks, because, and it's interesting because Judy Shepard King's son, who was the one who wrote the movie, I know Judy, I've known her son since he was a teenager, and then I'm like, okay, he brought forward this Black Panther story to us, and it's making sense again, because we need to know how to defend ourselves, not just with the vote, but yes, with like the fruit of Islam. My goodness, you know, they pilloried Louis Farrakhan. But guess what? When it comes to fight the power, we know more about the fruit of Islam than we know about the Nation of Islam. But here we are with the Black Panther Party with this particular piece. And I'm thinking, my goodness, these characters are still real. But I like the notion that you just said, Camille, that's like bringing the characters to the audience so that they would understand and appreciate when they do interface with each other, that they are prototypical characters that are brought together at this one place where the DJ brings them all together. And then we kind of understand why they are there. And these would be the same kind of conversations they would have in that space, celebrating the Black Panther revolution idea, and the DJ not knowing that what's brewing underneath her is another revolution. And she's like saying, hey, here we are. I'm just trying to keep it real, people, you know? And then she's like, come on, y'all, come on down. We're having a party, but we're having an intellectual conversation, not just a remembrance, but we're here to celebrate what the revolution should be going to in the next level. Are we having that conversation with each other today? Black Lives Matter tried, but look what they have done the press has done to them to try to make it seem like we should not be talking about Black Lives Matter. They, you know, and then now all hell is breaking loose in Palestine. But guess what? We've been oppressed for all these years, and we're like, we know what's going on in Palestine. Okay, same story. It doesn't matter. It's same white folks against black folks. You know, which tribe are those Jews from? I don't doubt very seriously if they actually know their tribe. But we do know that they're oppressing people. And what did Martin say? Oppression anywhere is oppression everywhere. And so now we have a story in this play that is very timely. And why not? 50 years? We need to be having this conversation with ourselves, not, you know, and stop fantasizing and doing virtual world kind of plays, but doing plays that are about the real world. And nothing more real about the Black Panther Party and understanding. If it wasn't for them, many of our children who went through the food program would not have been receiving good, nutritious habits to get us back into understanding why we have to take care of our community our way. So here we are.
Beautiful. Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Byron, and for everyone who's weighing in. I'm going to just read a couple more comments, and then Charles Burks, I'll call you up in a second, Charles. Let's see, Janine Robinson says, tone and rhythm of KSOL. Not sure if this was close to actual, worth taking a look at. Enjoyed the stories of the women. Janet Mitchell, great work. Jamal, director, cast, and stage manager. Also from Janine, depth of guns, depth of recalling the rape, solid women in the story. Always wanted to know more about the women of the movement. This has merit. And let's see. Janine says, I'm being picky. Good job, all artists. CJ Reeves says the actors were very true to their characters. David Wright says, great job. Lisa McCree says the issue of rape against the backdrop of the Panthers and the inner issues made for great conflict. I did find myself drifting at times because there was not a lot of action, but it was educational. Great job. David Wright says the sex aspect is a fact. And let's see, from the Q&A, Charles says, I was wondering if the issue of the party could be strengthened. I was not sure why the Black Panther Party was ending in 24 hours. Can that be clearer? And also, I mean, in regards to the urgency of this night being the last night. So, Charles, if you want to come on the mic, go ahead, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good. It's always great to see new work being produced. And I just wanted to ask those questions, which was, maybe I lost it and there was a lot of noise going on in my house about why the Black Panther Party was going to end in 24 hours. I didn't quite get that clearly, but maybe it was stated. The other thing was that there was a lot of talk about, I think it was Tiffany she said, I got my gun. And then there was a mentioning of she inadvertently left her gun. I found that a little hard to believe that she said it so much that I have my gun, you don't have a gun, that she would inadvertently leave the gun. And if she's a well-trained Panther, I'm finding that a little bit difficult to buy into. And, you know, those were the big things, but definitely appreciate you guys putting this on. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you. Thank you very much. There's some more moments. That actually moment, Charles, that you mentioned with the gun being left on the bench there, that actually did stand out to me too. And I wondered about that also, not the least of which, just from a logistical point of view, you've got a gun that's not in somebody's hand that's sitting on stage. Something's got to happen with that gun. You can't just leave it sitting on stage. Something's got to happen with it. You know, it's kind of like tied to that old rule that not everybody follows it, but a lot of people have believed that if you bring a gun on stage, then you have to use it, right? And but the same thing following, you know, so you can't just leave an item like a gun, because it's a tool, but it's also a tool that has the power of life and death. To leave that sitting there, that would seem a little strange. So there's a moment for you, Jamal, for you to look at there, that, you know, maybe there's some kind of like Tiffany doesn't, you know, maybe leave it. It seems like it might be stronger for Tiffany not to leave it there, but to take it with her, if for no other reason than to keep us from wasting time wondering why she left the gun there. You know what I'm saying? Unless there's some other way that it's dealt with later on, but it has to be dealt with one way or another, right? So I think that's the point there. Thank you for bringing that out, Charles. You see that, Jamal? Are you feeling that at all?
Yeah. I have to look at a lot of stuff, but it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yes. And to answer Charles's first point, was it made a little bit? Jamal, do you feel like you made it clear that could be what he was talking about? That could be made clearer. Do you think?
Which one?
His first comment. Yeah,
about
Charles was talking
why
about
it was the last night. Why was it the last 24?
Oh, right. And it was the last night. I mean, I need to expand on it in the story. But the fact that Huey Newton was going into exile and there was a woman taking over the Panthers for the first time, that was the reason why it disintegrated. You know, the new rules that she brought in about having to sleep with somebody if they could do the 10 points, that destroyed the whole Panther Party. You know, and the other chapters had already gone defunct. And Oakland was the last one. It was original, but it was also the last one to hang in there. And I think it was a lot of different factors that brought that about. I may have to bring it out in the play, but yeah, it was it actually was the last night. of the existence of the Panther Party.
Jimmy Sweetwine could be a good person to bring that out when he first, like, why is he there? He's a good person that could bring it out. The DJ is a good person that could bring it out.
Yeah, somebody pointed that out because he's used to going to places and destroying things.
Right.
But this is going to be, it's destroying itself. So why is he there? And I have to answer that, but I kind of want to think he's there because he wants to make sure that it happens. He doesn't believe that it's going to, he doesn't believe that. That's why he's there.
He could also be there on orders from his superiors as well to get in there and, as you say, make sure. It's like, yeah, we're hearing things. Our people are telling us they got some stuff going on, but we need to be sure.
Right.
So get down there and make sure. And if it looks like it's not going to go down, then do whatever you have to make sure it does go down.
Instigating criminal behavior to make sure it gets shut down.
Exactly. And if it means jumping in the mix and taking advantage of the chaos that's already happening within the party, then that's great. That's great. Makes the job easier.
And if Jimmy Sweetwine comes right in on top of the show and says that, like, it's the last night of the Panther Party, blah, 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 we automatically know it's, that what had happened was the inciting incident. It's the last night of the Panther Party and blah, 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 blah. And I'm about to go and tear something up. I'm about to do this or do that and do that. Now we automatically know what kind of person he is. We know what the inciting incident is. And we know all of this information. I think Jimmy Sweetwine's great. Or like I said, the DJ.
It's also a great hook too, because we hear that this is the last night. Well, now we want to know, what happened that last night? Right. Oh, I got to stick around because I got to find out what's going to happen on this is the last night. Clearly, there's some stuff going on here, right? So that's a great hook. That's a really great hook.
Yeah.
So I think that's wonderful. Looks like we've got a comment from one of our playwrights who joined us, who submitted several plays to the National Black Theater Festival, Larry Allen. Kim, what does Larry Allen say? He's posted something in the chat.
Okay. Larry says the characters have the words, but I didn't feel their hearts and souls. The characters are echoing thoughts and ideals, but not expressing their inner souls. They felt hollow within. I wanted to feel and believe in them as human beings.
Okay. So sounds like Larry's saying a little more character development could happen here, and that's a fair comment. Larry, would you like to come on mic and elaborate a little further on your point? If you'd like to join us, would love to hear from you.
In the meantime, let's see. There's a couple things, and then I think Byron has his hand up again. Let's see. Charles Burke says, "I look forward to seeing and hearing the next iteration of this play." Off. Bridget Waite says, I agree that part should be more clear. I think referring to the Charles comment. And let's see, Patricia Field said, I think great job, everyone. So Byron, did you want to come back on the mic?
Actually, that wasn't my hand up, but as I was listening, I was remembering when I met Kathleen Cleaver in Atlanta. She was the most demure individual that I've ever, and I was like, I was expecting this Black woman personification of the Black Panther Party, but she was so nice, such a wonderful person that I was like, okay, it kind of, when you, especially when we have this personification of the mean Black woman right now, okay, the angry Black woman, that was not her. She was just as engaging, and yes, it was later in years, but she had relocated to Atlanta, and when I was there, and at at a play, and she came to see a play, and we just had a nice conversation. But and I think that sometimes we have this image of the people from that time period that's in our mind, and because I was when I was in high school, I was the president of my Black Student Union at a military high school in DC, And I remember they brought everybody who was the black president or vice president at all the high schools in DC to a meeting where Stokely Carmichael was there, H. Rap Brown, Marion Barry, you know, because we were the young soldiers. And we were there to inspire each other and to try to plan for where we were going. And this is 1968. So, you know, that's why I say Jamal really has captured a wonderful spirit of that time, because most people don't really have a remembrance of it because we don't teach this in our schools. This is what's lacking right now in our educational experiences, is the real-time moment. Half the people have no idea what the civil rights movement was because they are stuck on, I had a dream. That's not what it was about. There were the sitting with the Huey sitting in the chair and the gun. That's what it wasn't about. There was more to it than that. And because when we don't teach this in our schools, there's this disconnect, so that the moment that the generations that are now trying to struggle to be the new soldiers, the new foot soldiers, they have no reference points. And that's sad because we have allowed this system in this country to misappropriate our movement and then try to frame it into some kind of pretty picture. And we need this kind of storytelling. So Jamal, you got to keep working it, baby. This is so important.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in on that about Kathleen and some other. I've known Jamal since I was like 18 in the Bay Area in the theater community. And I was telling Kimberly, I don't think that he ever knew this about me, that I have a personal history with the Black Panther Party. Well, from a little girl growing up in Harlem, my mother, one of her friends was one of the Harlem, what was it, the 1619, the group that were all convicted together with Feeney. So one of her friends he used to come over to the house a lot. Yeah, so I was I knew about like their different programs, and they would even like take us all up to like go camping and stuff. And it maybe instilled in me a lot of the community focus that I've always had. But then you fast forward and I'm back in Harlem and then in the Bay Area, I was at San Francisco State, and I kept trying to get enrolled in Angela Davis's class, but I could never get in. It was always too full. But she was such a nice lady. Like he said, she wasn't, all rah, rah, rah. She was just, but the thing that always turned me on about the women so much was their intellect, their minds. They're smart women. So I just always wanted to be like them because they were like really smart. So you fast forward and I'm back in New York, back in Harlem in the mid 90s. And I happen to come across a group of guys and girls in Harlem, my hometown. And they were the Black Panther Collective, not the new Black Panther Party, the Black Panther Collective. And the reason I had asked about the sex thing is because I had never heard this. We were down with the 10-point plans. We used to do clothing drives, all kinds of stuff, follow the police and things like that. But it was like they were very protective of that kind of thing with the men and women. So I'm wondering if the what happened in the past kind of had an effect on the younger generation in that way, in a positive way. And at the point where Khalid Muhammad, he had a meeting with us in our office on 125th Street and had announced that he was going to start the new Black Panther Party and wanted us to just all merge together. And the brothers shut it down. They didn't want to have anything to do with that because of the direction that he was talking about going. So then things just kind of ended. But the beautiful thing about the collective was that Afeni helped us. Kathleen came and spent time with us. And when Geronimo got released, he came. We had planned a reunion at the National Black Theater. It was in 1998 we did it. And Geronimo had came and everybody. I mean, it was really, so Kathleen though was different then, but she was still more sturdy until you fast forward 2018 and I'm living in Atlanta, and like you, I bump into her in the supermarket and she's like this fragile, frail older lady, just so like timid. And it blew my mind because I was like, Kathleen, like you probably don't remember me from Harlem in 1998. Man, I don't think she did, but she was so much older and so much. But what's always stuck in our minds are those visuals from way back when. But people do evolve. But there's so much that they can teach us, the younger generation, of what mistakes they made and how, we could do it better. Because there's a lot of us that still do clothing drives, do different kinds of things to help the community, but it's just not popular because we're not wearing, carrying guns and the leather and all of that. We're just kind of being regular and doing it. So it is still there, but it would be good if this was taught more, but also the evolution of those that are still living and how they evolved.
Very true. Very true. I think, Jamal, coming off of also Larry's comments and what we've just heard here, I think this is a great opportunity. First of all, it seems to me that you sketched in an incredible whole thing here. Okay, there is definitely a great story here. There's drama, there's conflict, there's lust, there's sex, there's, there's basically all the elements for making a great thing. Now, I think it seems to me a matter of more looking at those spots, some of those spots that have been talked about here today, and looking at where you can dial in, because it strikes me as this is a wonderful opportunity to show these people as people rather than characters, rather than, and when I say characters, I mean the characters that, as Kimi just talked about, that we all know, the Huey sitting there, in the wicker chair, the famous shot, which we saw earlier with the gun and this, and the spear, that shot, the look, the style, it's like we have an idea about the style, but we don't really know who these people really were. So this strikes me as a great opportunity for you, Jamal, to really delve into your characters here and to pull what you know from your own personal experience with these people and pour it into these characters, so that we have stronger characters. We have three-dimensional people that we're looking at that have hopes and dreams and lives and loves, people that have universal feelings that we all can relate to. The why someone got involved in the revolution in the first place, what someone saw, the descriptions of the, of seeing, the Tiffany describes of seeing, 10 black men or X number of black men up against the wall, buck naked, because the cops have just decided for whatever reason, if nothing else, and to just get their jollies off, to make them do that. Right. So I think there's a great opportunity here for you to really hone in and dial in. You've got some really good characters to start off with and to work with, So
also, I think this was recorded, Justine. Right? This was recorded.
Yes.
I think another good way to do it is to play it and not look at it. Because sometimes in the script it doesn't say what an actor should be doing, and we're guessing that the actor's supposed to feel like this, and you got to put it down there so that we know in the direction.
Yes.
But that part where, and I spoke to you about this already, about Camille says, because she's everything positive about the movement, and then Jimmy Sweetwine says something, but you're saying she's a nobody. Like if you turn the script, if you just listen to that and you're not seeing anybody's facial expression, no matter how much venom Camille says about, because she's everything positive in the community, how does Jimmy Sweetwine relate that to her being a nobody? So either he has to come back and say, either he has to be like, well, you don't sound positive about it. So if they can fine out to the point that but he just says, you say Kathleen's a nobody. She never says that. So how did Jimmy Sweetwine come up with that? And if you do it with just listening and not looking at a facial expression or not, and you're just going to be like, well, she didn't say that. And then you start thinking, then your mind starts wondering about that instead of paying attention to really what's going on. Because I kept thinking, how can I make him think that me saying she's everything positive about the movement is she's a nobody? If you understand what I mean. I just kept trying, how can I make that seem like she's a nobody?
Yeah, see, that's one of those details right there that can, as you just said, can pull someone right out of the story and have them wondering about something else going down another road instead of the main road, sticking with the main line with where the story is going, actually going. So so that's that's another great point. Again, the details, it's so, it's so incredible. It really is true. The details really do matter. And even tiny little details that might not seem like they matter, might not seem like a big deal, and on their own they may not be a big deal, but in aggregate, if you have a number of these things in aggregate, it can it can sway things one way or the other. So this is something to be very, 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 very cognizant of. And that's, that's part of the writer's job. Part of the playwright's job is to look at these moments like that and to fine tune it. So, and that's what we are doing here. We're helping Jamal fine tune this piece. Kimberly, do we have any more comments? Or Jamal, did you want to say something? Or
no, I just wanted to thank the cast. Thank them again, because they were excellent. Cast was excellent. And, and I like, Justine, I like your feedback, because it makes me think about the female part of it that I don't, I have a hard time thinking about. And then keeping it in this time era, because you're dealing with people 50 years ago. They're a lot different than they are now. So, staying within that realm, I know I'm going to look at this again and, refine it. I know I need to refine it, but I want to thank everybody for the feedback, because it really, really helped me,
That's wonderful. Yeah, that is a great challenge, because, how to tell a story that took place 50 years ago, but not putting it through the lens of today, because we really can't put the Black Panther movement and the Panther women through the lens of Me Too today, because it hadn't happened yet. It didn't exist yet. And this was this was a greater struggle, I think, than has been let on in general, the struggle between the genders, where where the women stood, where the men stood. We know about the most obvious example of it being that the women were kind of not in the forefront. It was always the men that were seen and what have you, even though we know for a fact the women were very much there, and the men could not have done what they did without the women's help, right? So so it's kind of an unfortunate case of credit not being given where credit is due, right? So but it is a fine line that you have to walk as a playwright, Jamal, and I know you know this, because you've got to stay true to that time period, to that environment, and somehow interpret it so that we can, in our today world, ideas kind of get where it's coming from. And I think for me that will come from a lot of that can come from the character development. Who these characters are, who these people are, what are they saying to each other, the comments, the conversations, how are they reacting to what each is saying, about that. I mean, because nobody is always, power to the people, down with the man, the pig, 24/7. Nobody is that. There's some part of the day when people just go, whew, I got to kick my shoes off and relax. I need to crack a beer and just, chill out for a little while. You know what I mean? And so that's where our three-dimensional characters come from. When we get to see those moments, as well as the power to the people, down with the pigs, movements as well. And we see how one informs the other,
And one final thing, and this may help in a development of a female character. when I was in Chicago for a Fred Hampton event, I had already watched that Black Panther documentary where the women were talking about the sexual abuse. And so I asked Fred Hampton's mother of his child, Fred Hampton Jr.'s mother, about that. And she got so offended that I asked her about that. And she was like, I don't care what these people are saying, but so it could happen where in the beginning, that's how Tiffany reacts, right? And then maybe the second part, she's more like caring about it. But that may be a great way to get a little bit of how a Black Panther woman would feel about another Black Panther woman downgrading a Black Panther man, saying, oh, he raped me. She might come off like, what, don't you dare come up in here talking about this, blah, 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 blah. And then you have a very distinct, for the audience, not for us, someone who's watching and looking to say, oh, because an audience needs to see and hear the difference in something. And you could have a woman that is so irate that you would actually say something negative about a Black Panther. Because you would need that, because that would happen in real life. Well, if you are really about that Black Panther life, she was offended by me just asking the question.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. These characters exist within any movement whatsoever. This is not just specific to the Black Panther Party. You ask me, I'm sure if you go out right now and go find yourself, and I've seen a number of them being interviewed on television, find yourself these MAGA women, you know, who support the MAGA movement and what have you. You try and bring up stuff about their boy and what he did and what he's guilty of and all that, and they do get offended. They get there and they're like, no, and they don't want to hear. They block it out, right? So that is a real thing. And that's another character thing that is quite universal. That's a character that we can all recognize.
Yes.
Right. So we've seen that. So again, another great opportunity there for you, Jamal, to, you know, how you deal with it. And also, you know, it strikes me also, one has to be very careful too, as a writer. How are the women talking to each other? You know, how are they dealing with each other? That has to be kind of really paid attention to and really dialed in, you know, and be as specific as possible. Because, you know, it's not a monolith. None of it is a monolith. So every woman has her own different take on it. You know, some are more in alignment with each other than others, you know, but, you know, so, and seeing those nuances, hearing those nuances coming from the women in the conversation and how they're telling, you know, how someone is taking a story about an accusation of rape, how someone is telling that story. Those nuances can make all the difference in the world to our understanding of it.
And that would actually give Tiffany a beautiful arc. Because Tiffany could come in like, I don't believe you, because nobody would ever do that to the Black Panther woman too. I believe you, but now it's not true. But you know what, sis? You were still raped, and I still feel for you. And I'm going to stick by you on this. So it goes from, I don't believe you, how dare you, to I'm going to support you.
Exactly. No there's the opportunity. Let me just say this real quick. There's the opportunity for growth for that character, and to see that arc, that growth, where one starts and where one ends up. And that's always one of the things we're most interested in as people listening to stories, as audience members. We want to see that growth. We want to see, where does this person start and where do they end up in this? And, you know, how did they get to where they end up? That's where the real interesting, meaty stuff is. You know, if you got somebody who's down for the cause, you know, Eldridge, Cleaver, Huey, you know, Stokely, none of them can do any wrong. Don't you dare breathe a bad word about them too. Whoa, okay, maybe it's not as cut and dry as that.
You know, darling, one of the things that I found myself asking when I heard Camille telling her story, I was thinking, was she really raped, or was she intellectually raped? Because at the point at which coming back down to that, for her personality, her character, understanding she was betrayed, and if finding out that there's 10 points at that time was how the male Black Panthers felt they had to keep their seed moving forward. And then I'm thinking, wow, by the end, the young man who was trying to memorize the 10 points finally gave all 10 points. And I'm thinking, now he's thinking he's about to get a little punani. I was like, dude, you are really in the wrong space. Okay. But then I was like, okay, I can feel Camille's wrath and understanding being betrayed doesn't necessarily have to mean she was physically raped, but she certainly was intellectually raped. And at that point, as a male, maybe I don't understand it. Maybe she was, but I can certainly appreciate her intellectual anger at that moment and thinking, being betrayed. How many brothers and sisters who came through the period and the movement feel as if they were betrayed and let down because the revolution didn't go the way they thought it was going to go?
Right.
And that's a heavy question.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now these are touching on some big issues. Disillusionment, within disillusionment of beliefs and of people that you believe in and of a movement that you believe in, what got you into the movement in the first place. These are all really important, meaty things that you have a great opportunity as the playwright, Jamal, to explore and to, really bring us deeper into that world, to give us more of an understanding of what was really happening. Because what you're dealing with is history here that is not really talked about very much. And there are definitely forces, and I know you've had many conversations with some of these forces that don't want this kind of thing talked about. They don't want this history brought out. They want it to remain. They want Camelot to remain Camelot. They don't want Camelot to be brought down by weird accusations and sex talk and all this stuff, right? But we need to know this as a people. We need to know these things to understand how things are not always black and white. No movement it's never black and white. There's all sorts of things going on, and the more understanding we can have about these things, even if that understanding is hard to listen to, hard to come by, because nobody wants to hear about rape accusations or their heroes falling down and all that, but we're better off knowing than not knowing. And I think that may be one of the, and I don't know that you intended it, Jamal, but that for me is an underlying message that I'm picking up, that this is difficult history. This is difficult stuff to talk about. It really, really is. Touches on some very sensitive stuff, but we will all be better off knowing it and being able to then put it into a larger context, to understand that larger context, to help us inform ourselves about how we should move forward. Exactly. Right? With all of this, because we're still fighting these same struggles, right? I mean, we all know in this Zoom room, we all know and each one of us deals with it every day to some extent or another. Right. So all of these things that the Panther women and the Panther men were debating and arguing about and wrestling with and all that, they all still exist today. So from a historical point of view, if you don't know the history, you're doomed to repeat it. Right. So this is a wonderful opportunity with this piece to bring out, to bring out this history and to educate and enlighten people, and do it in a way that, look, we're not here to turn you off to the Panther Party. Okay. We're not trying to say the Panthers, sucked or whatever. We're not saying that, but we do need to look at it with an honest eye and not delude ourselves into thinking it was something it may not have been.
The good, bad, the ugly.
Yes, exactly. You have to, you have to be willing to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly in order to get a deeper understanding or a true understanding of what was going on and how it is still affecting us all today, and how it's informing. Say that again.
I was just going to say something, just because something was perceived to be bad doesn't mean that it had there was a lot of good. Like that's why we in the video made it important to show, you know, the community, the self of community to fight for each other, and then the riot, and then all the other stuff that's going on. And then in this piece, because it is like the last night before, there's this lens that has to be, each person comes to this night with a super objective, and by the end of the night, that's the shift. It's like there's all the education, the truth, what's going on, and then it's what's going on with these characters, and you know what they thought they would get out of the party, and now it's ending. And did they get it? Did they not get it? And how do they feel now, knowing that the end of this night, when the party's over, was it worth it? Was it not? Like, and where does that leave them as whole, as people, as human beings at the end of the night? So that's kind of the lens to kind of look at with all these notes that you're getting. Is just, and we talked and we'll continue to talk about stuff, but you know, it was a good first read of a revamped piece. So typos and all.
Absolutely.
It is what it is. That's what this medium is
Yeah.
for, to clean that
Well,
stuff up.
exactly. And that's, you know, and to the point that you made earlier, Michele, that's why, you know, that's why we're here. We're here to hear what's on the page, to make sure that what's on the page is working, because as well as exactly as my father was quoted often and fond of saying, if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage.
And he used to always say, don't bring a gun, don't bring a gun. If you plan to use it,
if you're not going to use it, if you're not going to use it. Exactly. You know, and these are you know, these are things he was calling out, not just because they sound great or they're nice sound or whatever, but because they're actually true. These are actually tried and true parts of what we're trying to do here that we ignore at our own peril, right? So and Jamal, I know you know this because I know you've had many conversations over the years with Garland Sr. about this very thing. So as well as I'm sure with many other playwrights. So Kimberly, I think I've seen some comments in the chat room.
We have a couple more, and we're probably going to be winding up soon. Thanks for everyone who has stayed on this Sunday evening. But Larry Allen put in the Q&A, he said he was having some type of audio issues, but in essence, he says, I want to care for the characters, but did not. Their cause was noble and real, but lacked heart. The sexual plot is serious and deep. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area and have never heard of that. That topic needs to be explored. Also, Bridget Waite says, why is the male Black Panther still following Tiffany if it's the last night? And then a couple more comments from the chat. Frederick Michael says, good work, Jamal, Michele, and actors developing a good form, Garland. A lot of good insight from the audience members. He's got to run. And Miss Rhonda Passion Handsome says, kudos to all. So for those people who still want to get their comments in or go on the mic, we'll give you a couple more minutes. We'll start to wrap up soon. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a very vibrant conversation and a great performance.
Yes, it has. Thank you to all of our commenters in the chat room. I want to shout out that we had David Wright here, who was a lifelong member of the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop. So we thank him for coming out. And of course, Frederick Michaels is also another longtime member of the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop who worked with Garland Sr. As well. So want to definitely shout out and thank you all. Thank all of them. And of course, Passion. We always love to hear from Passion. So we want to thank them for taking the time out to be with us. Any final comments? Because Kimberly's right, we do want to wrap this up. We've kept you all. This has been an absolutely wonderful, vibrant conversation, and I think Jamal has gotten a lot of good notes that he can work with.
There's one more comment from Gail Wynn Huland, I believe. She said, she says, I felt that the monologues were very moving and interesting.
Okay, well, we'll see. That's great. Now, I think I really like the note about the changing about the placement of the monologues, putting them on much early on. That's powerful. Yeah, I think that's very powerful. And what Justine was saying about how Jimmy Sweetwine is a great option, to set things up in that way. I think there's some wonderful notes right there. This is wonderful. Let's say I see Tracy here. Tracy Curtin.
I agree, Gail. She said. And Francine Wilson says, kudos to everyone. Great work, Jamal.
Yeah.
Okay. Any call out, last call, like Foxy Lady said, last call for alcohol, you could say. Any final comments or anything that we want to share with Jamal, and we'll let Jamal have the last word before we sign off. And
Tracy does want to add, she says,
Tracy,
Jamal, great job, and I enjoyed it all and your cast discussions.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Hey, Staxx.
Hey, so I wanted to say thank you so much for the opportunity, and I really enjoyed myself. I enjoyed what you put together, of course, with your notes and everything else, all of the other commentary everyone gave you. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be even greater, after you take a second look at it. But I thought that all of the actors were very passionate in their roles. With only one time for us to read through it, I really felt everybody, and I thought that everyone did really well in portraying the characters that they were assigned. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity, and thank you to the Frank Silvera Workshop and to Michele. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a great evening. I look forward to working with you again in the future.
So much.
Thank you.
And then Renee. Renee Lama says, wonderful reading and discussion. Thank you so much for everyone who stayed on and contributed to this great conversation. So Garland, I don't know if you want to wrap it up or if anyone has any final thoughts. Now is your chance.
Let's give Jamal a quick second to say any final thoughts he'd like, and then I'll wrap it up for us. Anything you'd like to share with us? Any final words?
Yeah, this was a very good session for me. Like I said, I haven't looked at this thing in 20 years. And the one thing I was hoping to get out of the reading today, which I got, despite all the things that I have to do to fix it, the one good thing that I got out of it was that nobody accused me of being against the Panthers. That was one of the earlier problems that I had. They thought I was being hard on the Panthers 20 years ago when I was just speaking the truth. So this time I didn't get that. It looked more into the characters. So at least I'm winning on that end,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. I know 20 years ago, and also probably 20 years ago, a little more closer to the things happening, to what was happening, right? So people were still a little more sensitive about it. So, but I think maybe now with enough distance, we can really, with your play and with other pieces of work out there that focus on this subject, we can really get into the meat of it all, the meat of the subject, and see what was really going on, what was driving these people, and what drove the Panther Party to the original Panther Party to fall apart, in the ways that it did. This is they're not the first movement to have that happen, right? And more than likely they won't be the last movement that will happen to, right? So, but I think it's behooves of us all to understand as much as we can why these things happen, right? And we can only, one of the best ways to understand it is through getting to know the people, the characters. And one of the best ways we are allowed to get to know them is through the writer's work in fleshing those characters out and making them as three-dimensional and as real and as relatable as possible. So easy to just stick with the character, the character that Huey would put on when he went up to speak the fire and brimstone, but then nobody sees him at home when he's just relaxing with his old lady, or his friends or whatever, right? And so we're not seeing the whole picture. So I'm really happy you did that. And thank you very much. And Jamal, I'm going to tell you right now, we want to definitely read the rewrite So you will let us know when you got that rewrite ready to go, and we will bring you back into the virtual room here, and we'll run it through again, and we'll see what we get, see how our feedback has, and what you've done with it, what you've done with our feedback, and how, how you've taken it on to the next level. This is really exciting. This is so exciting, and this is so exciting for me as well too. This is one of my all-time favorite parts of it, is getting this feedback, doing the thing, hearing the words, then getting that feedback from the people, honest feedback. And I want to thank everyone who's commented tonight, and everybody who's put a comment into the chat room, our audience members and our cast members. You have all been so candid and so frank and so open with your comments. And that's exactly what the playwright needs from you and from us, is to hear what we're honestly feeling and thinking, so that they can go and take it on to the next level. So my thanks very much to all of you. Once again, I'll remind you that tonight is beginning our 50 and 50K challenge, our challenge to ourselves to raise $50,000 over the next 2 years. Feel free, you can go to our website also, FSWW.org, and you can find a donate button there. And so, like I said, any donation we are grateful for, and thank you for that. And also, I want to definitely thank once again the cast. Did a wonderful job. I'd like to thank our stage manager, Diana Brito. Thank you so much for being there with us. You added a great touch to it, and helped us see what kind of directions the playwright had in mind. So thank you very much for that, Diana. Thank you to everyone. Thank you very much to Michele for stepping in and directing this reading and bringing all of your skill and talents, which are very prodigious indeed, to bear here for this project. I know Jamal is very thankful and is very helpful. I believe now, especially after this conversation we just had, this has been a very, very good experience for this playwright to have. We're doing our job in helping them to develop it, and all of you are playing a very important part of that with your comments and your feedback. Huge thing.
There's a couple more, just a couple of last minute people that want to make a comment.
Okay.
Anita Webb, I'll cue you up in a minute, but Tracy Curtin is asking about the building in the Zoom background. Merritt College, correct, Michele?
Yeah, that's an old photo of Merritt College. I can't remember what year that was, but yeah, it's Merritt College.
Which ironically was in the news in the past year, because there was a possibility it was going to be shut down. And so there's a lot of noise about that. So thank you for that question, Tracy. What else? We had another comment, or we have someone ready to go on mic?
And a good Jamal has a good piece of history about this college from the wife that played Bernie Mac's wife in the show. Tell them, Jamal.
Yeah, her parents started the food program and the high school. And then she turned out to be a Hollywood starlet. But she has a big history. She grew up in the Black Panther Party.
I think this is
amazing.
This was a high school, I think, turned to the college. I thought it was. That's her family. So more Black history.
I thought it was. Yeah,
you can never have enough
school. It was a big school. They gave them a school. But yeah, I got a lot of good stuff out of this. Oh, Garland, I want to ask you. This is going to be filmed, right? What is it going to be on?
We have recorded. Yes.
Yes, we have recorded this, and it'll be on our YouTube channel, on the Zoomcatcher YouTube channel, and it will also be available through the workshop's website, FSWW.org. So if anybody wants to go back and take a look at it again, or go and fast forward to the parts that they have questions about, or take a look at it again, please feel free. Links will be posted, and we'll be sending that out in our newsletter as well. And Jamal, we will definitely make sure you get that link as well, and Michele as well, and everyone in the cast involved will get that link, so that you all can go back and take a look if you would like to do so.
And share it.
Also, and share it. And I was just about to say,
thank you, Michele. FSW page and like the page.
Yes. Okay. Yes. please like our page on yes, please like our page. We need that a lot, and definitely share the link. You all in the cast should be very proud of your work. You did a wonderful job, and I think this would be a great thing for you to share with anyone who you want to share your talents with. So please feel free to do that. Remember, we'll be coming back next month, November 29th, I believe it is, right?
November
Kimberly?
26th.
November 26th. Got it flipped. November 26th, we'll be coming back. It's another Sunday. We'll be back at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be bringing you the next iteration of Brooklyn Bridge and Fence by Sabura Rashid. We're very much looking forward to that. We read the first act last season and challenged her to go ahead and finish it and let us know when she did, and she did both of those things, and so we've got her scheduled up coming up next. And we'll also be announcing very shortly our full list. We got an immense amount of submissions between August and September. We got over 40 submissions, and we're actually still receiving submissions, so we're going through them and we're scheduling now. So we'll be letting you guys know about further things. We've got some interesting things coming up. We've got a piece about Asian American film star from the 1940s and 50s, Anna Mae Wong. We've got a piece that deals with two characters, two currently elderly Jewish people who met during World War II, were supposed to meet, something happened, and now we're going to find out what happened to them in the meantime. So we've got some very, very exciting and diverse pieces coming up. So I encourage you to stick with us. You can sign up for our newsletter at our website, the FSWW.org. And of course, you can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can always reach out to us in any of those ways. And you can also contact us through the website. We have a contact page. If you would like to reach out, if you have any questions or thoughts or ideas, we're always open. Just hit that contact page and send us a note, and we'll get back to you. So with that, I believe we are done here. Kimberly, do we have any other comments, or did we have one more comment? We are done. We are done.
Oh, the final comment was from Camille Thompson. Can't wait to see the second draft because I know we're gonna kill it. So there we go.
Indeed, we will. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you to our cast. You all are wonderful. Thank you again to everyone who was involved. Leopold, Yahuda Carter, and I'm blanking on our man who played. And oh no, Leopold was Jimmy Sweetwine, so I did get that right. And thank you to our ladies, of course. You all did a wonderful job. Thank you, Michele. Thank you, Jamal. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will bid you all adieu until November 26th, when we'll be back with our next virtual play reading.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Yahuda.
Everyone, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
coming.